9 innings down, 9 innings to go from Veterans Field on the first doubleheader of the season. Game 2 pairs the visiting Falmouth Commodores and the hosts, the Chatham Anglers. With Joe Puccio, I'm Andrew Selover. Welcome back into the broadcast booth. After about 2 hours off the air, we're back. And Joe, the Anglers are 2-0 over the last 2 days with a victory earlier this afternoon over the Wareham Gatemen.
Chatham took advantage of some poor pitching from the Wareham Gatemen. In the 8th inning, Jake Faherty walked 5 batters, and Chatham scored 6 runs in that bottom of the 8th inning to win 7-2. And then after that, the team had a little bit of a rest, got some food, went home and changed, and now are back in the third base dugout wearing the same uniforms they did earlier today.
If you're just joining us, the A's beat the Gatemen 7-2. 7 runs on 6 hits, no errors for Chatham. 2 runs on 8 hits, no errors for Wareham. And Chatham got 6 of its 7 runs in the 8th inning. Back-to-back come-from-behind wins against the Wareham Gatemen, Joe, means that Chatham is moving up in the East Division standings. As it stands, now just 5 points back of Brewster. The Whitecaps are in an offensive showdown right now with YD, and an important second game here for the Anglers.
Yeah, welcome to scoreboard watching season. Chatham in last place in the East Division at 19 points. As you mentioned, Andrew, trailing Brewster by 5. Best case scenario for Chatham today is that the A's pick up 2 wins and Brewster loses. Right now, a third of that leg has been completed, so we'll keep our eyes on the YD-Brewster matchup that's going on as we speak.
And, Joe, I already see a red Oklahoma sweatshirt in the stands tonight. That could be for the A's starting pitcher tonight. Carson Pierce gets the start in his first outing with the Anglers, trying to lock down a Commodores lineup that has exploded over a couple contests against the Chatham A's, especially at Gov Fuller Field. Twice the Anglers have taken a trip to Falmouth, and both times Chatham has surrendered double-digit runs. The A's offense tries to continue what it got going in the last half inning to the plate in the 8th against Wareham earlier today when it scored 6 runs when it faces starter Evan O'Toole. But first, we've still got more to come on the Anglers Extra Pregame Show, Part 2 from Veterans Field. Falmouth and Chatham coming up at the top of the hour. First pitch expected just after 7 p.m. Next up, the Manager Show. Stay with us.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC.
Chatham Bars Inn is Cape Cod's premier 4-diamond oceanfront resort. With 217 luxurious rooms, guests have access to numerous amenities, including a private beach, complimentary children's programs, 4 award-winning restaurants, a new world-class spa, an outdoor pool, and tennis courts. Year after year, Chatham Bars Inn is recognized as one of the top resorts in the world. Chatham Bars Inn and Cape Cod Baseball. Summer fun for the whole family.
Let's keep things rolling here on the Anglers Extra Pregame Show. Today, Chatham takes on Falmouth for Game 2 of the doubleheader. Joe Puccio here with Chatham acting manager Marty Lee on the Manager Show. Marty, your takeaway from the Game 1 win?
Well, it's just outstanding pitching from the get-go. Sokol did a really nice job of setting the tone, especially when kind of taking over a game that they had runners at second and third and no outs, from when we got fogged out. So limited it to 1 run. I just thought he did a great job of not only getting pitches out of him, but getting innings out of him. And then Xander Seacrest came in and kind of carried the torch. Gave up the home run, but it was nobody on. So not much was hurt there. And then Aiden Jimenez came in and did what he does. Actually, Tommy came in there for a pitch. I think he ended up getting a win on that. So came for a pitch, threw the guy out, and but the pitching staff really gave us that chance to win because Tejada for them on the mound was really, really good today. He can pitch for anybody in the country, and he's one of the best. So the goal is to keep it as close as we can, grind it out, run him out of pitches, and on to the next guy. So very proud of our kids.
Is there a certain comfort level when Aiden Jimenez comes out?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're going to win every single time. He feels the same way. We're kind of in a situation where when we went up by so many, do we hold him off? But he was already hot, and I didn't want to get him hot again tonight. So we went ahead and just let him close with it, and he will not be available the second game.
Another late offensive game explosion for you guys. How did you think the offense performed?
Well, we took advantage of a lot of opportunities. Again, Tejada was really good early for the 75 pitches that he had. And then we took advantage of some things with some walks and opportunities to drive runs in. So, I got to tip our cap to the kids on the team.
J.J. Weatherholt came in as a pinch hit situation. You moved in some guys late into the game. What was the mindset going into those switches?
Well, we're hoping to have runners at third and first with no outs. It didn't end up that way. But I feel like when JJ's up, there's some fear, in the pitcher that he's one of the best hitters in the country. And, this team feels like every time he gets up to bat, he's getting a hit. And so he's able to score a run for us there that was really big for us to get us one run closer.
Marty, when you played, what was the best way to get some energy going into a second game of a doubleheader?
Well, these kids are young enough. They're not coaches, so the energy can be within them for sure. I think this club's done a very good job over the past a week or so of creating their own energy. And when we get people in scoring situations or when there's a big out to be made, there's a little more energy. It's can be kind of tough, especially when you're going 18 innings to be cheering the whole time. But I feel like the spirit and the energy's there.
Extra cup of coffee for you today?
Yeah, Mountain Dew.
What's your favorite Mountain Dew flavor?
Yeah, regular, just straight.
Straight up.
Yep.
So, second game, any interesting game plan, schematic things you got cooking?
Well, we like Carson Pierce. He's new to the Chatham A's. This will be his first appearance. We're hoping to get innings out of him, as many as we can. We're going to be thin on the mound. We've got some position players lined up with 5 more games in 3 days. We've got to monitor arms. We don't want anybody to get hurt, and I'm not going to bring anybody back off early rest. Just to try for a win. So we'll keep everybody slotted the way they are pitching-wise, and we're planning on Carson giving us a bunch of innings. But we've got some surprise position players who have actually got on the mound before, so it'll be interesting.
Marty, from your infielder's perspective, how have you evaluated Caden Kidd's play at shortstop?
Caden, he gets better at every position he plays. I think I've said it earlier. He's truly a Swiss Army knife for this team and for Texas A&M as well. He works out, as you know, we do a lot of early work with our infielders, so we can move infielders all around the infield. I have no worries about putting any of our guys in any spot in the infield, but I'm anxious to see. He's played there a couple times in games, but Caden can play shortstop, and we'll be great with him there.
We'll keep our eyes on some position players pitching today. Marty, thanks for the time.
You betcha.
That's Marty Lees from the Manager Show. A's and Commodores coming up at Veterans Field. Let's send things up to Andrew Selover as we continue on the Anglers Extra Pregame Show.
Joe, you heard it there from the acting manager, Marty Lees. He has some position players ready, if necessary, to pitch tonight's game, but expected to start in his first appearance with Chatham out of Oklahoma, Carson Pierce. When we return, we've got Catch of the Day coming up with J.J. Weatherholt, who's pinch hit in both of the last 2 contests against Wareham and come up with key ABs. That's next here on the Anglers Extra Pregame Show.
Anglers Extra. Chatham on TRC. Cape Cod.
We're back here for the Anglers Extra Pregame Show ahead of the Game 2 of a 2-game doubleheader at Veterans Field. Counting down the minutes till first pitch between Falmouth and Chatham. I'm Andrew Selover, joined by J.J. Weatherholt for Catch of the Day. J.J., you've come off the bench last couple of games with big pinch hit at bats. What's it take in your mind to be a good pinch hitter?
It's kind of tough. It's not really a position that I'm used to. I think like my first pinch hit was this year at school. But you kind of just have to stay ready for an at-bat, and just like at the end of the day, as soon as you get in that box, just flip the switch like you're playing the whole game.
Last night, for you guys in the dugout, seemed like you were having a lot of fun. What contributed to that, and what's been the biggest change over the last couple of days for Chatham?
Yeah, I mean, I think energy in the dugout's a big thing, part of games, and we kind of just all started going for it. You know, we were down, seemed like we were out of the game, and then we kind of all just started having some fun, and it might have flipped the switch yesterday, which led us to a victory, and then today we tried to carry some of that energy, and we got the dub in the first game.
What's the biggest thing for you that makes the game of baseball fun?
Probably just my competitive aspect and just like having a chance to compete every day and, you know, trying to beat a pitcher on the mound, trying to make plays in the field, just being competitive.
Today, a doubleheader at Veterans Field. Already checked off the box with a win in game number 1. For you, pinch hit a bat again in game number 1. What was the biggest key for Chatham to come back again against Wareham this afternoon?
I would say, honestly, it was more the pitching side was the biggest part, just keeping them to low runs and giving the offense a chance. You know, it might take a little bit for our at-bats to get better, but the pitcher's doing a great job of holding them to, I think, 2 runs across the game, and that was huge for us just because the offense finally found it. And without that, you know, if the pitchers let up more runs, then the offense might be out of it, and there's probably no comeback there.
Long day here. What's the biggest key for Chatham to come back with energy again for game number 2?
I don't know. Maybe some caffeine, maybe some hydration, probably some food. Just reset and get ready to play.
What are you loading up on? Caffeine, food?
A little bit of both. Yep.
All right. Got the coffee in?
It was energy drink, but yeah.
All right. Energy drinks, coffee, whatever it takes here for Chatham in game number 2. JJ, best of luck to you and the Anglers tonight.
Thank you.
We'll send it back to Joe for the rest of the Anglers Extra pregame show.
J.J. Weatherholt, as Andrew and J.J. mentioned, had a pinch hit opportunity in the 8th inning. He came through with a 2 RBI single to help Chatham beat Wareham 7-2 in Game 1 earlier today. Weatherholt not in the starting lineup for the A's, a rather unique lineup for Marty Lees and the Chatham Anglers. We'll break down that entire lineup, the pitching matchup, and we'll give you baseball. Chatham and Falmouth coming up next on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Anglers Extra. Chatham on TRC. Cape Cod.
Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the Cape Cod Baseball League and shares a reminder that blood donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod. Help save the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/blood center. Cape Cod Healthcare. Caring, commitment, community. Chatham A's baseball is on the air right now.
Swings and hits one to left center field. Back goes McFadden. He will not get there. It's a home run. A grand slam for Todd Frazier.
Chugging into second base with an RBI double is Evan Longoria. He is 4 for 4.
Hit on the ground, left side. Will it get through? Off Crawford and into center field. Federovic scores and Chatham wins it in 11. The game-winning hit from Seager. It's a 5-4 Chatham winner.
And now, with your play-by-play, Joe Puccio and Andrew Selover.
Game 2 of a doubleheader at Veterans Field is just minutes away on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. I'm Andrew Selover alongside Joe Puccio. Chatham hosts Falmouth for Game 2 of the day after a win 7-2 over Wareham earlier this afternoon. Let's waste no time and get you the starting lineups for tonight's contests, presented by the Chatham Squire. First, for the Falmouth Commodores, under manager Jeff Trundy, they enter at 14, 15, and 2, 30 points. That's good for 4th in the West Division. Leading off from Oklahoma, the center fielder John Spikerman. Batting second out of Oregon State, Travis Bazana plays second base. From Louisville, from Louisiana, the third baseman Kyle DeBarge bats third. Out of Wallace Community College, the DH Cade Snell is the cleanup hitter. Batting fifth from Northeastern, the first baseman Tyler McGregor. In the 6th hole, the catcher, Luke Heyman out of Florida. Batting 7th, Gavin Keelan out of Louisville plays shortstop. In the 8th hole from Dallas Baptist, Nathan Humphreys is out in left field. And batting 9th, the Texas A&M right fielder, Tab Tracy. Over on the Chatham side, under acting manager Marty Lees, the A's come in at 9-18-1 with 19 points, last place in the East Division. Leading off and playing shortstop from Texas A&M, Caden Kent. Batting second, the second baseman out of USC, Bryce Martin Gredzelanek. In the 3 hole, the center fielder from Miami, Ohio, Zach McDonald. Nolan Schubert is back in the cleanup spot, the DH out of Oklahoma State. Tyler Wolfert plays right field and bats 5th. Batting 6th out of Seminole State Junior College. Over at third base, Xavier Casarilla. The left fielder out of Hawaii, Kyson Donahue, bats 7th. Behind the plate, catching for the A's out of Texas Tech, Hudson White. And batting 9th from Lipscomb, the first baseman, Trace Wilhoit. For the A's, that's 4 changes from the lineup that began Game 1 against Wareham earlier this afternoon. The starting pitching matchup presented by the Red Nun Bar and Grill. On the mound, a righty, Evan O'Toole. He comes from Oklahoma State and pitches tonight for Falmouth. As for the Anglers, in his first appearance, Carson Pierce out of Oklahoma will get the ball for the A's. And now it's time for the national anthem, so we send it over to the public address announcer, Peter Burns.
Please rise for tonight's national anthem. Lila Gurry is singing tonight's national anthem. Lila is 11 years old from Brookline, Massachusetts. She spends her summers here in Chatham and loves singing, musical theater, swimming, and sailing in Stage Harbor. With tonight's national anthem, Lila Gurry.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we'd hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we'd watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The national anthem here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. A lovely performance ahead of Game 2 from Veterans Field. And Chatham and Falmouth enter their respective dugouts ready for baseball. Chatham will wear its white pinstripes for the second time today. All pinstripe pants and jerseys. Chatham in blue script across the front with the red numbers on the front and blue on the back. Royal blue caps with the red Angler A on the front. For the Chatham A's, under manager Marty Lees at 9-18-1. Meanwhile, for the Falmouth Commodores, they come in with their black jerseys that read Falmouth in red block letters across the front, with the numbers on the front and the back in that same maroon Commodore color. Gray pants with the stripe down the leg, and black caps with the Falmouth F on the front. Joey already briefly mentioned the starting pitching matchup today between Evan O'Toole, the righty for Falmouth, and Carson Pierce getting the ball for his first time in an Anglers uniform. What can you tell us about the righty starter for the A's?
Well, Carson Pierce comes from Oklahoma, where he pitched in 23 games, 29 2/3 innings, An ERA just south of 4, a 3.94 ERA. He's struck out 21 batters and walked 14. But before he made his way to Chatham, he made a stop in Amsterdam, New York with the Amsterdam Mohawks of the PGCBL. In 5 appearances up in Amsterdam, he had 20 innings on the mound, struck out 19, walked 9, and had an ERA of 1.80.
We'll get to more on Pierce throughout the contest, as well as more on the starter out of Oklahoma State, Evan O'Toole, in the bottom of the first. One more look at the starting lineup for the Falmouth Commodores. It goes Spikerman, Bazana, DeBarge due up in the top of the first. Snell, McGregor, Heyman in the heart of the order. Keelan, Humphreys, and Tracy rounding out the starting 9 under manager Jeff Trundy. 6 lefties, 2 righties, and a switch hitter in John Spikerman to face off against the righty from Oklahoma.
From Oklahoma, number 17, John Spikerman.
Spikerman takes a long walk from the first base dugout up to the left-hand batter's box. The switch hitter will bat from the left side against the righty Pierce. Fans have filled back into Veterans Field behind home plate, a few sprinkling Depot Road behind the outfield wall. Pierce set at his waist, ready for his first pitch as an A. He deals. First pitch on the outside corner with the fastball, strike 1. First pitch time and temperature, 7:02, 76 degrees and partly cloudy. That presented by the Chatham Athletic Association. Right on left, 0-1. Taken just off the outside corner, 1-1 to count. John Spikerman, the center fielder out of Oklahoma, teammates with Pierce. Put together their college season in 2023. 1-1, check swing, taken on the outside corner, 1-2. Spikerman with OU, a .270 batter. Played in 60 games with the Sooners, reached base at a .415 clip. 1-2. Taken on the outside corner. How about a backwards K for Carson Pierce in his first batter faced as an A.
Oregon State, number 7, Travis Bazana.
Defensive alignment for the Anglers presented by Short and Sweet Ice Cream. Left to right in the outfield, Kyson Donahue, Zach McDonald, and Tyler Wolford. Travis Bazana digs in from the left side. Second baseman from Oregon State. First pitch, slider misses inside, 1-0. Third to first on the infield for the A's. Xavier Casarilla at the hot corner. Caden Kent moves over to short. Bryce Martin Grudzelanek at second, and Trace Wilhoit at first. 0-1, bounce sharply to first, grabbed by Wilhoit. He underhands to the pitcher, and Pierce is there to beat out Bazana for a 3-1 putout. Bazana hit it on a sharp one-hop over the first base bag. With his left hand, Wilhoit gloved it right above the chalk line, a good 10 feet behind the base, and then a long underhand toss, and Pierce was covering the bag in time. Hudson White catching Pierce tonight behind the plate as Kyle DeBarge steps in, third baseman from Louisiana. Takes fastball, strike 1. A 4-pitch mix for Carson Pierce out of OU. Fastball, sinker, a 4-seam fastball, a sinker, a slider, and a change. The 0-1, cut on and missed. There's a good look at the slider at the knees. Quickly 0-2. Pierce in search of a 9-pitch first frame. Set at the waist. The righty glove to the mouth, turns and fires. Bouncer right back up the middle. Martin Grudzelanek to his right. Hobbles, throws, in time. 1, 2, 3. Third base dugout fired up after that one. Carson Pierce makes it look easy in his first inning of work in an Anglers uniform. His teammates are out to greet him. He strikes out John Spikerman looking. Then forces a 3-1 putout of Travis Bazana. And finally, gets a ground out, 4-3 from Kyle DeBarge. No runs on no hits, no errors, no men left on base for the Falmouth Commodores And the Chatham Anglers are coming up to bat. Kent, Martin Grudzelanek, and McDonald up to the plate next.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC.
Just getting started here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. I'm Andrew Selover alongside Joe Puccio. And the Falmouth Commodores have taken the field for the first time tonight, along with their starting pitcher, Evan O'Toole, a righty out of Oklahoma State. O'Toole faces Kent, Martin Grudzelanek, and McDonald. 6 righties and 3 lefties in the starting lineup for acting manager Marty Lees. Kent gets a start at shortstop for the first time in a while today, and he swings right through the first pitch, 0-1 the count. The umpires tonight, presented by Audio Associates, Mike Lum calling balls and strikes, Joe Gravina at first, Jeff Merzel at third. 0-1 pitch. Lifted towards the left field line, it bounces in front of the left fielder Humphreys. Caden Kent leads off with a single to get Chatham started in the bottom of the first. Joe, when you play 2 and everybody else plays 1, that can act in 2 different ways. If you win the first one, it might give you extra motivation and juice headed into game 2. Whereas if you lose this first one, it's especially hard to come back and play another 9 innings. We'll see if Chatham takes momentum off of that win over Wareham in game 1. First pitch, huge hack and a miss from Martin Grudzelanek.
Brock Riley said a few games ago that his team has chemistry. His team has momentum. It's only a matter of time until they start winning games.
And they've won 2 straight now, searching for 3. 0-1. Lifted back to the netting. 0-2 the count, rather. Bryce Martin Grudzelanek was not in the starting lineup for game number 1 of the day because that was a fog suspended game, 2 batters in. So he wasn't in the starting lineup, but he did pinch hit for Chris Maldonado back in the 8th inning. Came up with a 2 RBI ground rule double. He takes outside ball 1 with an 0-2 fastball. Martin Grudzelanek started the night before at Wareham. Put together a 2-for-5 night, including a wall bouncing double and a single, 2 runs scored. 1-2 pitch. Lifted foul in on the hands. He stays alive. A nasty slider that tied up the right-handed hitter, but he just caught a piece. Evan O'Toole, 22 appearances with a 6-1 record in his junior year with Oklahoma State. 1-2, low in the dirt, 2-2 the count. And for O'Toole, he is about to face one of his college teammates in just about 5 minutes' time when Nolan Schubert steps to the plate, 2 batters from now. First, he's focused on the USC Trojan, Bryce Martin Grudzelanek. 2-2. Lined on the 1 hop to short, could be 2. Flip on to Bazana, over to first. In time, 6, 4-3. There's 2 down, just like that, in the bottom half of the first. Bryce Martin Grudzalonic squared the baseball up, but he hit it on one hop straight to Gavin Keelan at short.
You talked about the momentum that Chatham had after winning the first game against Wareham. A double play ball like that could drain a little bit of confidence, but still early.
First pitch to McDonald is crushed high in the air, deep towards right field. Tracy to the track, to the wall. He leaps, and he brought it back. A home run robbery at the right field fence by Tab Tracy. Takes away Zach McDonald's third homer of the season and keeps it a scoreless game through one. The right fielder drifted back to his left all the way to the track. He felt the wall, he leaped, and 2 feet above the fence, he grabbed the baseball to rob Chatham of a first run. No runs on one hit, no errors, and no men left on base for the A's. It's scoreless in Game 2 between Falmouth and Chatham, here from Veterans Field.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
Sweet Tomatoes Pizza, located right around the corner from Veterans Field at 790 Main Street in Chatham. Pick up a pie on your way to the game or grab a calzone before first pitch. The dough for their specialty pizza is rolled right before your eyes. Eat in or take out, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and sometimes later. Call 508-348-0200. See their full menu online at sweettomatoescapecod.com. Sweet Tomatoes, a Chatham pregame tradition.
Well, I came by your house the other day. Your mother said you went away. She said there was nothing that I could have done. There was nothing nobody could say. Now me and you, we've known each other, yeah, ever since we were 16. I wished I would have known. I wished I could have called you.
4, 5, and 6 due up in the top of the second for the visiting Falmouth Commodores. That begins with Cade Snell, the DH tonight, in the 4-hole. Second inning of work for Carson Pierce after a 9-pitch first frame. He works out of the windup and deals. On the outside corner, strike one with the sinker. Right on left, as it will be for a majority of this Commodores lineup. 6 lefties and a switch hitter. A 1 pitch. Bounced foul down the first baseline, 0-2. Cade Snell from Wallace Community College, transferring to Alabama for spring of 2024. Hit .396 this year. 56 games played. Off to a tear with Falmouth as well. 0-2. Cut on and missed, strike 3. Cade Snell came in fresh off a 3-for-4 game last time out, but he's cooled off by a strikeout swinging on 3 pitches from Carson Pierce. 8 pitches in the first for Evan O'Toole, 9 for Carson Pierce. Now he faces Tyler McGregor and starts him with a strike at the top of the zone. McGregor, the first baseman out of Northeastern, comes in hitting .305 in 16 games with Falmouth. 0-1. Slider misses high, 1-1 the count. Joe, for the A's, they desperately need another good start here in game number 2. Got it from Jack Sokol in game 1, but just running thin on pitching. 1-1. Bounced off the foot, foul, 1-2.
It's also the MO of this team. Marty Lees has mentioned that the offense is there. It's starting to click. It just needs the pitching to get off to a quality start and allow the Anglers to get out to an early lead.
Carson Pierce cruising through 4 batters faced. With nobody on and 1 out in the second, his 1-2. Misses high, again with the slider. 2-2 the count. No score, Chatham and Falmouth. 1 out into the top of the second. Game number 2 of the day for the A's. Just game number 1 of the day for the Commodores. 2-2. Misses low. Went back to the well with the off speed. This time in the dirt. The count run full to Tyler McGregor. Carson Pierce, a .394 earned run average this year. in 23 appearances, all out of the pen for Oklahoma. He winds and fires. Bouncer to the right side. Will Hoyt to one knee, grabs it and takes it himself. Steps on the bag in time. 2 outs in the second.
Falmouth's having trouble lifting the baseball on Carson Pierce.
In 30 innings pitched, Pierce only surrendered 12 extra base hits with the Sooners this year. 21 Ks to 14 walks. So far commanding the zone well. 5 up, 5 down for Luke Heyman. First pitch. Tipped into the mitt of Hudson White, 0-1. Heyman, one of 2 righties in the lineup, the catcher out of Florida. Heyman stands at 6'4", 210, freshman out of Longwood, Florida, 0-1. He lays off a slider that just missed, 1-1 the count. 7 games in for Heyman, batting .200 with the Commodores. Stares out at Pierce, who nods yes to the sign. He turns and he deals. Check swing in the dirt, appeal down to third. Instead, appeal to first, and that is a swing. Strike 2 on Luke Heyman. Mike Lum went to the appeal to third base, realized it was a righty, and then it was called a strike. 2 outs, the 1-2 pitch. Cut on and miss, strike 3. 22 pitches, that's all Carson Pierce has needed to mow down the first 6 batters he's faced in tonight's contests. Another 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts in the second. Falmouth goes scoreless, and Chatham comes to the plate in the bottom half of 2 in search of the game's first run. 0-0, halfway through 2.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Town, and I live in a small town. Paradise, small town, oh, small communities. All my friends are from small town. My parents live in the same small town. My job is a small town, provides little opportunity. Educated in a small town, taught to fear Jesus in a small town. Used to daydream in that small town, another boring romantic gets me. But I've seen it all in a small town, had myself a ball in a small town. Married an LA dollar, brought her to this small town. That small town, just like me.
An Oklahoma State showdown to begin the bottom of the second. Nolan Schubert strides in towards the left-hand batter's box to face off against his teammate, Evan O'Toole. O'Toole gave up 2 hot shots in the first. One was a single from Caden Kent, the other a 6-4-3 double play ball from Bryce Martin Grudzelanek. He needed just 8 pitches. Here comes his 9th. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Change up to Nolan Schubert. The 0-1 pitch. Cut on and missed. Schubert chased after the changeup in the dirt, 0-2. Nolan Schubert had an 0-for-4 day into the 8th inning in game number 1. Then, with 2 outs, he came up with a 2 RBI single, 0-2. Bounces in, 1-2 the count. Joe, I had talked to Chris Maldonado a couple days ago when he faced off against his college teammate. Said it's A really weird feeling because you're always cheering for those guys, and then all of a sudden you're trying to do damage against them. 1-2. Again low, 2-2 the count.
I mean, that's the beauty about playing Cape Cod baseball, is that you get set up in situations that you would not get in school.
2-2 count. Leadoff man in the second for Chatham. The pitch. Lifted back up the middle, past the glove of the O'Toole over to short. Keelan has it across the diamond to retire Schubert.
The right fielder from Oklahoma State, number 5.
Xander Sechrist was laughing post-game of Game 1 after Chatham beat Wareham. He tossed 3 1/3 innings of just 1-run baseball, and the 1 run came from a Bobby Bozer home run. Sechrist and Bozer actually played summer college ball last summer together, so he was laughing about one of his old teammates getting the better of him, although he came away with a great relief appearance. First pitch, bouncer to the right side from Wolfert, another Oklahoma State product. Thrown on to first in time, Bazana to McGregor, a second out of the inning.
Sechrist gets the last laugh, though, because his team comes away victorious.
So Oklahoma State, and transferring to Oklahoma State in 4, 5, and 6, slotted into the A's lineup. Facing off against the OSU product, Evan O'Toole. So far, 2 outs. First pitch to Casarilla. At the knees, strike 1. Xavier Casarilla was in the 1 hole for the game earlier today. Reached base in 4 of 5 plate appearances. And he breaks his bat on an 0-1 popper over to first. Diving catch by McGregor on the edge of the grass. He sprinted from parallel with the bag over near the second base position. He laid out, feet first, and grabbed it about a foot above the green infield turf. Another 1-2-3 inning worked by O'Toole. He's needed just 16 pitches through 2. It's still scoreless, Chatham and Falmouth.
Chatham A's on the air.
Just 20 minutes in, and we're through 2 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Andrew Selover alongside Joe Puccio here at Veterans Field. Joe, this is what we need. We need to keep this game moving. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Everybody's been here for a long time today. Leading off for the Falmouth Commodores, Gavin Keelan. First pitch. He bunts, and he lays it down foul over towards the Chatham dugout. Barehand snag by Ben Peterson, leaning over the fence.
I bet Marty Lees wouldn't mind this game going by quickly. More importantly, having Carson Pierce throw as many pitches as he can.
Right on left battle. Let's see if Keelan lays it down again. He lays off in the dirt, 1-1.
Chatham short on arms today, and Marty Lees said before the game that there could be a plethora of position players pitching in today's game.
1-1. High, 2-1 the count. Carson Pierce wastes no time on the mound. No need to worry about the pitch clock here at Veterans Field. He gets the ball back. He steps on the rubber. He comes set. He gets the sign from Hudson White. Puts the glove to the mouth and deals. Fastball roped into right field. A first base hit of the day for Falmouth. Leadoff single for Gavin Keelan, who stands aboard at first base for Nathan Humphreys in the top of the third.
The left fielder, number 14, from Dallas Baptist, Nathan Humphreys.
Nathan Humphreys, another left-handed batter in the lineup for Jeff Trundy. Center fielder stands at 6'2", 205. First pitch, high, ball one. Humphreys in 17 games hitting 180 with the Commodores in the 8-hole today. The 1-0 taken outside, 2-0 the count. After 2 quick innings, Carson Pierce behind an account with a runner on and nobody out in the third. The OU starter comes set and deals. Fastball roped back into the netting, 2-1. Pierce joins Chatham from Amsterdam, where he was playing with the Mohawks of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. Went 5 appearances, all starts with Amsterdam. A 2-1 record with 1.80 ERA. 2-1 is bounced off the foot of Humphreys at the plate. He goes down to the backside in the left-hand batter's box. Up quickly, though, with the count sitting at 2-2. Pierce's first start was a 2-inning appearance in which he gave up 5 runs for the Mohawks. Ever since, he tossed 18 scoreless innings in his last 4 starts. Throw over to first, not in time. Keelan had a big lead, but the throw did not have enough oomph on it to retire the runner. 2-2 home. Slider high. Count run full.
Ready to guess the record of Amsterdam this time around?
Yeah, last time it was 28-2. I'm going to take a gander that they haven't lost since then. And let's go with 32-2.
Close.
3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pierce battles back to retire Humphreys swinging, a 4th K of the night.
The Mohawks have lost.
Oh, wow.
But
a big-time upset
yeah,
in the PGCBL.
The Mohawks are 30-3. Second place is the Utica Blue Sox, who are on a 11-game win streak, down 8.5 games.
Who'd they lose to? Who got the big win?
I'll find
Utica?
out for you. Could be.
First pitch to Tab Tracy, high for ball 1. Tracy, right fielder out of Texas A&M, robbed a Zach McDonald home run back in the first inning. Took it back from over the blue fencing in right field. He bats in the 9-hole and awaits the 1-0. Lifted down the left field line, out of play. It clambers into the netting past the Chatham dugout.
A historic upset. The Watertown Rapids, who are 12-23.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
How did the Mohawks let that happen?
A 6-4 win for the Rapids.
Needed Carson Pierce to make one more start, apparently.
So.
Instead, he's pitching here in the top of the third with the A's in a scoreless game against Falmouth. 1-1. Lifted right back up the middle. Snagged by Kent. Pump fakes a throw back to first. Keelan back safely without any danger. But Caden Kent leaps to take away a base hit from Tab Tracy. There's 2 outs for the top of the lineup in the third. Spikerman led off the game with a strikeout looking. Second time through in this Oklahoma battle. First pitch just misses outside with a sinker, 1-0. John Spikerman hitting .233 in 22 games played. Awaits the 1-0. At the knees on the outside corner. Another sinker for strike 1. Carson Pierce only allowed 5 hits in his last 18 innings with Amsterdam. So far, 1 hit through 2 2/3. His 1-1 is on the ground to the right side. Martin Grudzelanek up with it onto first. In time by 4 steps. A leadoff single is no worry for Carson Pierce. He's through 3 scoreless. Just 1 hit surrendered. And the A's and the Commodores are still knotted at 0 here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air. Long as I remember, the rain been coming down, clouds of mist drift pouring, confusion on the ground. Could be through the ages, trying to find the sun. And I wonder, still I wonder, who'll stop the rain? I went down Virginia, seeking shelter from the storm.
We need some offense here from Veterans Field. No score. Headed to the bottom of the 3rd between Chatham and Falmouth in Game 2 of a 2-game doubleheader for the A's. Chatham knocked off Wareham 7-2 earlier this afternoon. I'm Andrew Selover with Joe Puccio sitting next to me in the broadcast booth. We're situated down the 3rd base line, high above the diamond. And we watch as Kyson Donahue strolls into the left-hand batter's box. One of 3 lefties in the lineup for acting manager Marty Lees against righty starter Evan O'Toole. The Oklahoma State pitcher has faced the minimum through 2. He nods yes and deals to Donahue. First pitch popped up, foul ground, 3rd base side. At 3rd, DeBarge chases and runs out of real estate. It lands 15 feet outside of the fencing, and 2 kids slide in there to try and make a play to get a free baseball. Donahue out of Hawaii awaits the 0-1 and takes outside. 1-1 the count. So far with Chatham, a 152 average through 14 games for the lefty. 1-1 pitch. Tipped into the mitt behind the plate of Heyman, 1-2. And Joe Donahue's in a spot we haven't seen him much, left field today, after Nolan Schubert was moved to the DH role. 1-2 pitch. Belted up the middle. To his right, the second baseman Bazana across his body. Not in time. An infield single for Kyson Donahue. Chatham has the leadoff man on in the 3rd.
Marty Lees said before the game today that he's confident that his players can play any position that they want. We see that Marty Lees goes out in the morning working with infielders primarily, but to throw Kyson Donahue in the outfield really shows his trust in his players.
First at bat for Donahue since July 3rd. 15 days later, an infield hit, trying to start a rally for the A's in the 3rd. Brings up Hudson White, who checks his swing at a first pitch fastball that misses up and in. 1-0 the count. White came in as a pinch runner, not something you see often from catchers in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Throw over to first, not in time. Jaden Melendez started behind the plate for the A's, and then in the 7th inning, J.J. Weatherholt pinch hit for Melendez, reached first with a single and an RBI. 1-0. Bouncer to the right side, over to his left. Bazana only play is at first. He throws in time to retire White, but that does a job and moves Donahue into scoring position with 1 out.
The first baseman from Lipscomb, number 57, Trace Wilhoit.
J.J. Weatherholt has been a little banged up, and since it was the catcher spot, he certainly wasn't staying in the game, so Marty Lees went ahead and pinch ran for Weatherholt with Hudson White. White then had a plate appearance and walked, came around to score the go-ahead run for Chatham in the 8th inning. Trace Wilhoit takes high, ball 1. in the 9-hole. Will Hoyt out of Lipscomb gets the start over at first base in game number 2. Same spot where he was started in game 1. 1-0. Cut on and missed. Chased a fastball low and in. Important to remember that the lineup card for game 1 was not made today. It was made back on July 10th when the game between Wareham and Chatham started for just 2 batters and then was suspended for fog. 1-1. Lifted out of play. Down the first base line. 1-2.
That ball got caught up in a light and then landed about 2 feet away from the grill master over at the snack shack. That could have been dangerous for many reasons.
We need to keep concessions open there. Joe and I are hungry. We need some food later on.
That's right.
1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. I say that about the lineup earlier just to tell you that Marty Lee's only had much of a say in the lineup for game 2, and that's why there were a decent number of changes to keep some guys fresh. 2-2 pitch is hammered out towards right field. Back goes Tracy. He's at the track, he's at the wall, and he has another one. Donahue tags up and scoots into third easily. That one not quite a robbery, but Tracy was just 2 feet away from the fence when he snagged it. Will Hoyt, the all-time career home run record leader at Lipscomb, nearly clocked his first home run with the A's. Instead, there's 2 outs for the top of the order. Caden Kent has the job to try and bring in Donahue from third to give Chatham a 1-0 lead. First pitch. Outside. Ball 1.
Chatham's flirting with that short porch. 3-14 out to right field.
McDonald had a home run robbed in right field. And that time, Will Hoyt just 3 or 5 feet short. 1-0 to Kent. Tipped foul at the plate, 1-1. Kent went down to one knee, likely chased after ball 2. Caden Kent had one of the 2 hits the first time through the lineup against the starter O'Toole. A single the other way to lead off the bottom of the first. A right-on-left matchup. The pitch is grounded right back to O'Toole on the mound. He snags it with his left hand and tosses with his right over to McGregor, who stands on first for the 3rd out. Chatham comes just 90 feet away from scoring Kyson Donahue and only a few feet away from scoring a home run off the bat of Trace Wilhoit. Nonetheless, Evan O'Toole equals Carson Pierce in an Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State pitching battle. Both starters are through 3 scoreless. No score between Chatham and Falmouth as we head to the top of the 4th. Stick with us here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's, Chatham on GRC.
What I want, you got, and it might be hard to handle, but like a flame that burns a candle, the candle feeds the flame. Yeah, what I got, full stock of thoughts and dreams to scatter, and you pull them all together, and how can explain? Oh yeah, well, you make my dreams come true.
It's the top of the 4th between Chatham and Falmouth here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. I'm Andrew Selover with Joe Puccio, and Joe has your middle 4 innings of play-by-play at Veterans Field.
Hey there, Andrew. No score in the top of the 4th inning. Great to be with you here on this Tuesday evening on the East Coast. First pitch misses low for ball 1. Travis Bazzana in at the plate. Carson Pierce on the mound beginning his 4th inning of work. Chatham starter working from the windup. The right-hander kicks and fires. Popped up, left side, it trails out of play, foul. 1-1. Carson Pierce is having himself a day so far. In 3 innings, scoreless baseball. He's given up just 1 hit and struck out 4. His 1-1 pitch is tipped foul towards Falmouth's first base dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Travis Bazzana. Now Bazzana is the leading hitter for the Commodores, but he grounded out to first back in the 1st inning. He stands in from the left side, staring at Pierce on the mound. Pierce nods his head, lifts and deals. Misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That time the sinker ran low and in on the left-handed Bazzana. Falmouth with no runs on a hit. Chatham no runs on 2 hits. Here's the 2-2. Sinker misses below the zone. The count runs full. Bazzana hitting .325 with the Falmouth Commodores. 3 home runs and 15 runs batted in. Today is game 21 for Bazzana. Here comes the 3-2. Crushed out towards deep center. McDonald to his right. He's at the track. He makes the catch. Just feet away from the wall. Travis Bazzana gave it a ride towards the 357 sign out in left center field. Zach McDonald, the center fielder, hustled about 20 feet to his right to make the catch for the first out.
Joe, you don't want to get into a hitter's count with Travis Bazzana. When he knows a fastball's coming, he usually doesn't miss it. And he didn't miss there, but came up just a few feet short.
Yeah, he missed a home run by about a foot. Here's DeBarge. Takes a first pitch sinker for a strike.
Easily could be 3 blasts in this game, and we're at 0.
Tracy has had 2 catches on the warning track. That's the right fielder for Falmouth. The 0-1. Misses low. That's ball 1. Change up at 81.
The A's have already experienced the wrath of Travis Bazzana. Almost had to go through the pain again there. Had a grand slam against Chatham earlier.
1-1. Misses low and outside. It's 2 balls and 1 strike on Kyle DeBarge. DeBarge playing in his 24th game this summer, a .266 hitter. From the right side, he awaits the 2-1 delivery from Pierce. Choppered on the 3rd baseline. Casarilla fields on a hop to first in time. DeBarge grounds out to the fellow 3rd baseman. Casarilla charged in through the baseball from about a quarter of the way down the 3rd baseline to home, closer towards the 3rd base bag. Zipped it over to first to trace Will Hoyt's glove for the 2nd out in the 4th. 2 away, nobody on for Cade Snell. Still no score here in the top of the 4th inning. Pierce's first pitch. Sinker misses low for ball 1. You know, Pierce is starting in his first game of the summer. He has not thrown pitches to Hudson White yet. Battery seems to be charged right now. 1-0. Fastball right down the middle. Strike 1. Luckily, Pierce has 1 college teammate with him. 1-1. Ground ball, left side foul. 2 balls and 1 ball and 2 strikes. He doesn't have a college teammate with him. He has some college enemies with him that he's played against in Big 12 baseball. Pierce from Oklahoma. Many OSU Cowboys on the Anglers. 1-2 pitch is cut on and missed for strike 3. That ends the 4th inning. Yet another 1-2-3 inning for Carson Pierce in his first start with the A's. He's got 5 punch-outs now on the game through 4 innings of shutout baseball. No runs on no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning. No score between the Anglers and Commodores on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Like tell you about now, baby. You know she comes around. Just about 5'4". From her head to the ground. You know she comes around here just about midnight. She make her feel so good, love. She make her feel alright. And her name is G. L. Whoa.
We're in the middle of a pitcher's duel here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. No score between Chatham and Falmouth as we start the bottom of the 4th inning. Evan O'Toole on the mound. He's pitched 3 innings so far. He's averaging just under 10 pitches an inning. Evan O'Toole faces Bryce Martin-Grudgelanic, Zach McDonald, and Nolan Schubert. 2, 3, 4 in the Anglers' order. The right-handed O'Toole fires home. First pitch misses low for ball 1. As for Chatham starter Carson Pierce, who's thrown 52 pitches in 4 innings, that's an average of 13 pitches an inning. 1-0. Skips in the dirt. Quickly 2-0 on Bryce Martin-Grudgelanic. Chatham has 2 hits in today's game. A single from Kent and a single from Donahue. 2-0. Misses low and away. Ball 3 to Martin-Grudgelanic. Chatham's second baseman today grounded into a double play his first time out. Martin-Grudgelanic came in as a pinch hitter in game 1. The 3-0. Fastball in there for strike 1. In Chatham's 7-2 win over Wareham, Martin-Grudgelanic hit a double in the 8th inning. Brought home 2 RBIs. 3-1. Tipped foul. Bounces to the backstop behind home plate. The count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Martin-Grudgelanic, one of the few players signed here by acting manager Marty Lees. It's been just over a week since Marty Lees was named the acting manager. Pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Bazzana, the second baseman, throws over to first in time. Retires Martin-Grudgelanic for the first out. From one second baseman to another, Martin-Grudgelanic hit a slow roller to Travis Bazzana over at second base. Fired it with his right hand to McGregor at first. And that's 1 out in the 4th inning. Here comes Zach McDonald in the 3-hole today. First pitch to the righty. Fastball, that's the outside corner for strike 1. Today's game started at 7:01 p.m., currently 7:48 p.m. 0-1. Heater misses high, ball 1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1 out, nobody on. No score between the A's and the Commodores. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. McDonald under. Pitch directly in the middle of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. McDonald 0 for 1 today with a fly out to center field. His 1-2 pitch is cut on and missed for strike 3. 2 away in the 4th. That's the first strikeout of the day for Evan O'Toole. Took a while for O'Toole to get his first strikeout, Andrew, but he seems to be humming along through 3 2/3.
Both these pitchers pitching well, and O'Toole a little bit more to contact. You would say Chatham's seen the ball a little bit better at the plate so far, but nothing to show for it. A couple long fly ball outs and hot shots on the ground on the infield, but Falmouth has been positioned well defensively.
First pitch to Schubert is in the zone for strike 1. College teammates in this battle, O'Toole and Schubert, both from Oklahoma State. Schubert 0 for 1 today with a ground out to short. He awaits the 0-1. Off speed, misses low and away for ball 1. Schubert played in game 1, where he was 1 for 5 with a 2 RBI double in the 8th inning. 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses high. 2 balls and 1 strike. So Chatham's wearing the same uniforms that It did in Game 1. You could tell during the national anthem today. 2-1. Tipped back to the screen, foul. Count jumps to 2 balls and 2 strikes. When the Anglers were standing in front of the third base dugout, all lined up for the national anthem, those white pinstripe pants looked more like dirt blue pinstripe pants. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball right side, base hit in between the hole of first and second. 2 strikes, 2 outs. That's nothing for Nolan Schubert. He picks up a single to prolong the 4th inning. Andrew Falmouth had clean gray pants, and Chatham's pants from Game 1 were all dirty.
One of these teams has played 9 innings, the other hasn't, and they made that pretty clear with the uniforms, but that's a dugout that's pretty loose right now, Joe. After back-to-back wins, saw the most energy we've seen out of the A's last night at Wareham. A little early this morning, arrival to have too much energy, but running on fumes right now, but so far, hanging in there against Falmouth. At the moment, all you need is one big hit to take the lead.
Tyler Wolfert stands in to the right side of the plate. His collegiate teammate Schubert on first with 2 outs. His other college teammate O'Toole pitches. Inside, ball 1. Many ways you could stay awake for all 18 innings, but Marty Lee's rocking the original Mountain Dew flavor. And Drew, you a big Mountain Dew guy?
I'm not sure I've ever had Mountain Dew.
You have never had Mountain Dew? 1-0. This is outside. Falls out of Heyman's glove. Schubert advances to second. For just the second time in this game, Chatham has a runner in scoring position. Wild pitch moves Nolan Schubert to second base.
And in a scoreless game this far along, those are plays that are quite important. Now all it takes is a single from Wolfert, and Chatham could lead.
Highlight this moment in your scorebook. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Out in front of the off-speed pitch at 85. 2 balls and 1 strike.
What about you, Joe? Mountain Dew?
Yeah, I don't drink it much.
Okay.
I like my teeth, so I prefer to keep them. But it is quite tasty on occasion. 2-1. Misses high and away, ball 3. That Baja Blast flavor that they have.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've tried any of that stuff.
We'll have to get you a Mountain Dew.
I think
just
I'll pass.
to try it out.
I'll be okay.
Well, Andrew doesn't want any
Something
fun.
tells me I'm not missing out on too much by not having Mountain Dew.
3-1. Chopper down the third base line. O'Toole backhands, fires to first, and it's wayward. Way over McGregor's head. Schubert scores from third. Chatham scores the first run of the game. O'Toole overthrows McGregor at first base, fielding the baseball off the pitcher's mound. 1-0 Anglers in the bottom of the 4th on a throwing error from Evan O'Toole. Tyler Wolfert stands at first base with 2 outs. His team holding a 1-0 lead. Here comes Xavier Casarilla to the right-handed batter's box. First pitch. In the zone, outer half for strike 1. You think Evan O'Toole, if he could go back in time, he'd just let that ball roll out?
I'm not sure it was going foul, but...
Well, no, not foul.
Yeah, you probably just eat that one.
Right.
He made a heck of a play to get there as quick as he did.
Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Skips low in the dirt. Heyman blocks it for ball 1.
So at that point he said, okay, I can rush it over to first, try and steal an out, but I think if there's nobody on, maybe you do that. With a runner headed to third, I think you probably, next time around, hold that ball in your glove and live to face Casarilla.
1-1. Misses low and away, ball 2. And there was no chance that ball was going foul. It was rolled right along the infield grass. But when O'Toole fielded it, Wolfert was 3/4 of the way up the baseline. It would have taken a cannon shot for Wolfert to be out at first base. O'Toole collects 2-1. Just misses off the outside black. Casarilla's up 3-1 in the count.
Wolfert picks up the infield single, but does not get an RBI because it was the throwing error that scored Schubert.
Scored a single for Wolfert and a throwing error to bring home Schubert. 3-1. Catches the outside corner. The count runs full 3-2 on Xavier Casarilla. He's 0 for 1 today. Popped out to the first baseman to end the second inning. Right now he has a runner on first and 2 outs in a full count. Pitch. Looped over the second baseman's head and down into center. Wolfert was in motion. He goes from first all the way to third. A bloop single for Casarilla in a shallow center field puts runners on the corners with 2 outs. 2-out base running from Wolfert. He was the man in motion. So when the ball was hit, Wolfert was already halfway down the baseline to second. Because it was a bloop single, he rounded second before the center fielder Spikerman could field the baseball. So Wolfert's at third, Casarilla over at first. And here comes Kyson Donahue. He's 1 for 1 today with a single. He was left stranded at third base to end the third. First pitch, lined back to the screen, foul. 0-1. Kyson Donahue at the left side of the plate. He has not started a game, as Andrew mentioned earlier, since July 3rd in Harwich. He was 1 for 1 against Orleans in the suspended game on July 5th. He'll get those stats back at a later time. O'Toole's 0-1. Swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch low. No balls and 2 strikes. Donahue has a chance to give Carson Pierce and the Chatham pitching staff some comfort. The A's lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. The lone run coming across in this half inning. Runners at the corners, 2 gone. Pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Donahue fishes at the slider low from Evan O'Toole. He strikes out swinging to end the frame. But the Chatham A's score the first run of the game. Nolan Schubert hits a single. Tyler Wolfert gets on with an infield single, and on a throwing error from Evan O'Toole, Schubert scored from second base. Chatham scores a run on 3 hits, 1 error for Falmouth in the field, and 2 runners left on base. Let's go to the top of the 5th inning. It's 1-0 Anglers on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
Shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park, but meantime, sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain, they hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places, but the horns, they blowing that sound.
Top of the 5th inning here at Veterans Field. 1-0 Chatham on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Alongside Andrew Selover, I'm Joe Puccio. McGregor, Heyman, and Keelan due up for the Commodores. Batters 5, 6, and 7 against Chatham starter Carson Pierce. First pitch from the righty. Fastball in the zone for strike 1. So Carson Pierce starts his 5th inning on the mound. He's pitched 4 scoreless innings through this point, allowing just 1 hit. 0-1. Skips in the dirt. Hudson White backhands it for ball 1. The hit was a single from Gavin Keelan in the 3rd inning. Keelan is the only base runner that Falmouth's had today. Carson hands at the belt. It is 1-1. It's popped up, left side. Casarilla looks, but stops running as the ball lands out of play, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tyler McGregor grounded out to Trace Wilhoit at first base back in the 2nd inning. Left-handed hitter against right-handed pitcher. Pierce gets the sign from White. White goes to one knee. The pitch. Hard ground ball to Will Hoyt. Drops his knee, flips it over to Pierce. Bang, bang, play at the bag, but Pierce beats McGregor for the first out. McGregor hit a rocket over towards Will Hoyt. 3 hops into his glove. Will Hoyt decided to flip it to Carson Pierce covering the bag. And Pierce stepped down the base about a half second before Tyler McGregor did. That's the first out in the 5th.
I'm not sure Pierce thought that Will Hoyt was going to throw it to him, but he took long enough getting down to one knee and up with the baseball that he had to, and Pierce, fortunately, was headed to first anyway.
First pitch to Heyman is crushed out towards left field. Donahue sprints in from his post, and he makes the catch with a glove in his left hand for the second out. Off the bat, it looked like that fly ball would have some distance to it, but with the wind blowing in from center field, and one of the deepest parts of the park, 357 in left center and 340 to the left field corner, Kyson Donahue had more than enough room to make the catch for the second out. And here comes Gavin Keelan up to the plate, the lone hitman for the Commodores today. First pitch to the lefty is popped up over the protective netting behind home plate for strike 1. Gavin Keelan comes into this game as a .311 hitter with Falmouth. Still not the team leader in batting average. That'd be Travis Bazzano. The 0-1 misses low and outside for ball 1. Keelan, the shortstop from Louisville, hit that single back in the 3rd inning. The lone 1 spot in the hit column for Falmouth today. 1-1 pitch. Broken bat chopper up the middle. Martin Grudgelonic fields. Darts it to first in time. And he is out. The Commodores are set down 1-2-3 in consecutive innings. 5 scoreless innings for Carson Pierce on the mound. Chatham preserves its 1-0 lead. No runs on no hits, no errors. No one left on base because no one got on base. We're halfway there on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. It's 1-0 A's going to the bottom of the 5th.
The Cape's leader, sports radio play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer. Johnny's got his 6-string high. Now he's opening when he used to make it talk so tough. It's tough. Cheetah dreams of running away. She cries in the nighttime and whispers, baby, it's okay.
We're back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. 1-0 Chatham in the bottom of the 5th inning. Joe Puccio here with Andrew Selover. And before we start action here in the bottom of the 5th, Andrew has the check of Major League Baseball scores, as always, presented by Chatham Bars Inn, New England's premier oceanfront resort.
All right, Joe, some chaos today in Cincinnati. They resumed the game between San Francisco and Cincinnati that was rained out part of the way through yesterday. It finished in 10 innings, 4-2 in favor of the Giants. But then they're in a rain delay for the actual game scheduled to today.
Oh, no.
1A alum Alek Manoah starting today for the Blue Jays. Toronto trails 2-1 to San Diego in the top of the 3rd. 2 runs allowed on just 1 hit, but 3 walks through 2 from Manoah.
First pitch in the bottom of the 5th is looped to the left side. Keelan hustles back and makes the catch in shallow left field for the first out. Hudson White swung at the first pitch. The right-handed catcher from Texas Tech popped it up to the left side, was a few feet away from falling on the outfield grass for a single, but it lands in Gavin Keelan's glove, the shortstop, in shallow left field for the first out.
Connor Joe leading off again for the Pirates tonight, another A alum.
First pitch to Will Hoyt, misses low for ball 1.
But Pittsburgh is currently in a rout on the other side of it. Cleveland in front 8-0 in the bottom of the 4th right now.
1-0 pitch to the righty. Ground ball, third base side. DeBarge fields, guns it across the diamond to retire Will Hoyt. Quickly 2 outs. Andrew, you got to speed up here.
I know. I'm only going to get you a couple scores. Phillies 3, Brewers 2, bottom of 5. Braves 5, Diamondbacks 7, mid 2 in Atlanta.
Oh, boy.
Nationals and Cubs scoreless, Marlins and Cardinals scoreless. Both of those games just underway, and a number of games yet to start tonight in Major League Baseball.
First pitch to Kent. Swing and a miss. Goes downstairs for the changeup. Comes up empty. 0-1.
Red Sox at Athletics tonight at 9:40.
0-1 to Kent. Fastball misses outside. 1-1 now.
Yankees at Angels at 9:40 as well. Quite the win from L.A. last night. Shohei Ohtani, a 35th home run.
Yeah. 1-1 to Kent. Swing and a miss. Another changeup on the outside part of the plate. It's 1-2 on the lefty. Chatham's leadoff man today, 1 for 2. He singled back in the first inning. Yankees in a rut right now, Andrew. Normally the MLB score update is fun. 1-2. Slapped down the left field line. It trails out of play towards the parking lot. Foul. We'll do 1 ball and 2 strikes all over again. And a rather speedy bottom of the 5th inning. 2 batters were retired on 3 pitches. 1-2 to Kent. Fastball misses high and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kent working a 5-pitch at bat against Evan O'Toole, the starter from Oklahoma State. Right-handed pitcher against left-handed hitter. 2-2. Ground ball to DeBarge at third. Gets through his glove for a base hit. DeBarge was roaming to his right, attempting to make the backhanded stop, but was a few inches away from the baseball. Caden Kent finds outfield grass. A 2-out single for Chatham's leadoff man. He's now 2 for 3 today.
Caden Kent putting together a nice string of games. Reached base 4 times last night.
One of the 3 representatives from Chatham in Saturday's All-Star game. That's played over at White House Field. A short little ride for the Chatham A's. First pitch to Martin Grudgelanic is hammered. Deep left center field. Spikerman hustles back. He looks up. He can't make the catch. Caden Kent gets the wave around third. He's about to lose his helmet. He chugs in home. The throw comes in, and the catcher drops the ball. Kent is safe. Caden Kent scores from first base on an RBI double from Martin Grudgelanic. 2-0 Anglers in the bottom of the 5th. Caden Kent exchanging words with Luke Heyman behind the plate. Heyman caught the baseball. His glove hit Caden Kent around his head. Kent was still safe because Heyman dropped the baseball. The 2 have to be backed away from each other as Caden Kent hustles into the third base dugout. Martin Grudgelanic, another day where he collects an RBI extra base hit. He brings home Caden Kent all the way from first base, hitting it out towards left center field. So Chatham extends its lead. It's 2-0 Anglers, and here comes Zach McDonald to the plate. Runner on second. 2 gone. Pitch. Popped up. Drifts out of play over the first base dugout. 0-1.
Joe, we were talking about the All-Star game, and one of Chatham's participants has game 2 off. That's Aiden Jimenez. His game off activities include roaming around the stands collecting 50-50 raffle tickets.
0-1. Runs outside. Ball 1.
He's walking behind the snack shack. Needs to pick up some food for himself.
And if anybody knew that Aiden Jimenez has shut the door in the last 2 Chatham wins, I bet a lot of Anglers fans would be surrounding him, signing autographs. He's got to broadcast himself. 1-1. This is low, the changeup at 84. It's 2-1 to the right-handed Zach McDonald, who's 0 for 2 today.
You want to know who's having no problem broadcasting himself?
Who is that?
Xander Sechrist.
Oh, boy. He loves a good post-game interview, doesn't he?
Certainly does. There's a funny interaction on Twitter today.
2-1. Check swing, foul ball off. No, it hit his hand. McDonald started moving his hands. You heard a pop. That wasn't the bat. That was McDonald's right hand. McDonald gets hit by a pitch. He walks over to first base. Martin Grudgelonic still stands at second with 2 outs in a 2-0 Chatham lead at the bottom of the 5th.
So on Twitter, following Xander Sechrist's final line of relief from Game 1, there was a comment from one of his friends tagging at Big League Chew, the gum, saying, "We need an NIL deal now," and the official account responded, "At Xander Sechrist, you know we got you."
Wow. On the official at Chatham Anglers on Twitter, huh?
That's right. You can go check it out right now. We might have just built a new NIL deal for Xander Sechrist.
Look, man, it's for the people. That's what the Cape Cod Baseball Network's all about. We have a meeting on the mound between Mike Landry, Falmouth's pitching coach, the infield, the catcher Luke Heyman, and Evan O'Toole on the mound. Currently, a left-handed arm is warming up in Falmouth's bullpen down the right field line. But they come out to meet after Chatham has scored a run in each of the last 2 half innings. Tyler Wolfert brought home Nolan Schubert on an infield single, and Bryce Martin Grudgelonic hit an RBI double that scored Caden Kent all the way from first base. The left center field scoreboard reads Chatham with 2 runs on 7 hits and no errors. As for the Falmouth Commodores, no runs with just 1 hit. That was a single from Gavin Keelan in the 3rd inning, and 1 error in the field. That error was an overthrow by Evan O'Toole that allowed Schubert to score. Mound visit's over. And speaking of Nolan Schubert, he stands in to the left side of the plate. Right-handed O'Toole comes set. Pitch. Called strike at the knees. 0-1. Nolan Schubert today, I should say in this game, is 1 for 2 with a single in the 4th inning. Played earlier today in Game 1. 7-2 win over Wareham. 0-1. Foul down the left field line. Count jumps to 0-2. Schubert was 1 for 6 against Wareham earlier today. A double in the 8th inning. He batted twice in the 8th inning. He had a strikeout and a double. He stares in at his college teammate on the mound. 0-2. Drilled down the right field line, but it's foul. Nearly had home run distance down the right field line. It was about 40 feet to the right of the right field foul pole near the hill that spans from the right field corner all the way towards dead center field. So it's 0-2 on the Oklahoma State Cowboy Nolan Schubert. The Oklahoma State Cowboy Evan O'Toole peers in for the sign. Heyman flashes down some numbers. O'Toole collects and fires. Runner goes to third, pop up down the third base line, but it trails foul. Bryce Martin Grudgelonic has to go back to second base. A late movement from Zach McDonald over at first. He was also in motion. So the 2 runners go back to their respective bases. Martin Grudgelonic at second, McDonald at first with 2 gone, and a 2-0 Chatham ball game in the bottom of the 5th. O'Toole hands at the belt, looks towards second. He fires. Pitch misses low. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Nolan Schubert. Schubert comes into today's game a .216 hitter in 24 games. One of the 3 representatives in the All-Star game for the Chatham A's. Schubert, Kent, and Aiden Jimenez. Schubert a lefty against the righty O'Toole. Here's the 1-2. Skips low in the dirt. Ball gets away from Heyman. Martin Grudgelonic off to third. He's safe. Throw over to first. McDonald is tagged out going back to the bag. Zach McDonald was caught halfway down the baseline from first to second. Luke Heyman picked up the baseball, saw that McDonald was a good 8 strides away from the bag, zipped it over to first. McDonald attempted to slide into the left side, but was tagged out by Luke McGregor for the final out. The Anglers still score a run, 1 run on 2 hits, and leave just 1 runner on base. We're through 5 full innings with the Chatham Anglers leading 2-0 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham A's on the air.
I got so down and out, picked up, headed for the sunshine. I left a good thing behind. Seemed all of our love was in vain. Now my baby's coming in on the Tucson train. I come here looking for a new life, one I wouldn't have to explain. That voice that keeps me awake at night, when a little piece would make everything right. If I could just turn on.
We're humming along here at Veterans Field. We start the top of the 6th inning with Chatham leading 2-0 over Falmouth. I'm Joe Puccio alongside Andrew Selover. Speaking of humming along, Carson Pierce starts his 6th inning of work on the mound for the A's. He's averaging 12 pitches an inning. He faces Nathan Humphreys to start things out here in the 6th. First pitch to the lefty. Broken back, ground ball left side. Kent fields, it takes a big hop. Humphreys is safe, no throw from Kent. Slow roller to the left side, Caden Kent. Hasn't played shortstop in a couple of weeks for Chatham. Fields a ground ball on a high hop, hits his shoulder, and flies up in the air. It scored a base hit, just the 2nd of the day for Falmouth. Nathan Humphreys leads off the 6th with a single. Carson Pierce has thrown 5 scoreless innings, now with 2 hits on his ledger. Faces the 9-hole hitter, Tab Tracy from Texas A&M. Pierce from OU fires. Bunt popped up into the screen behind home plate. 0-1. Tab Tracy has had just 1 at-bat today. He lined out to his college teammate, Caden Kent, over at short. Runner on first with no outs. Pierce fires. Tipped back to the screen, foul. Oh, it hit off the pitch clock and it turned off the pitch clock. Oh, that's not good. We need Robbie Grenier pronto. And Robbie Grenier is standing up and telling everybody that it just got disconnected. He's got a big old grin on his face. Chatham's groundskeeper has to walk over.
That'll be fixed in no time, don't worry.
Yeah, he'll figure out that connection. We'll be all good. 1 pitch clock right below the left center field scoreboard. Here's the 0-2. Fastball runs high and tight for ball 1. That pitch was released with 10 seconds, so Carson Pierce doesn't even need it. Robbie Grenier is figuring it out back there. He's telling some fans to move because this is his ballpark. Trying to put the extension cord together as Carson Pierce comes set for the 1-2. Hard ground ball down the third baseline, foul. Count remains at 1-2. Well, it's not as easy as plugging the cords back together. Robbie Grenier is walking up the bleacher steps. Figure out how to fix this pitch clock. Pierce collects, hands at his chest, 1-2. Just tipped foul. Bounces behind Hudson White behind home plate. We'll do 1 ball and 2 strikes all over again. Nathan Humphreys is the runner at first base with no outs in this 2-0 Chatham ball game, top 6. Humphreys started off the inning with a single. Pitch clock is still off behind home plate, but nothing that Robbie Grenier can't fix. Here's the 1-2. Fastball runs too far inside. Pierce lifted up his leg to start celebrating a strikeout, but instead, he throws a second ball to Tab Tracy. It's 2-2 on the left-handed hitter. Tracy playing in his 20th game of the summer, hitting just under 300. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tracy swings and misses through the sinker ball. That's 1 out in the top of the 6th inning.
The center fielder, number 17, John Spikerman.
Tab Tracy strikes out swinging. That is the 6th punch out of the day for Carson Pierce. Order flips for John Spikerman. Spikerman from the left side, first pitch. Fastball misses just a hair outside for ball 1. So Andrew, Pierce has thrown 68 pitches, now 69 pitches. in the top of the 6th inning. How long do you think this leash is?
This is probably it, this inning. Lefty up in the pen.
1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Healthy hack from the leadoff man, Spikerman. It's 1-1.
Can't quite get a number. I believe it's probably Trey Gibson. Sorry, not Trey Gibson. Gavin Brasowski up in the pen for the A's.
1-1 pitch. Hard ground ball in the third base line, but it's foul. Just 10 feet to the left side of third base. 1-2 on Spikerman.
And that makes sense with the righty starter Pierce. It's a lefty-loaded lineup for the Commodores. 6 lefties and a switch hitter. That being the man at the plate, John Spikerman. So you go lefty out of the pen, and now over 70 pitches, I think you likely try and let your starter work out of the 6th, and then that's probably it. Consider it a good day for Carson Pierce.
Double play ball would be nice. Here's the 1-2. Caught down and missed for strike 3. He pulls the string with an off-speed pitch low and away. Spikerman way out in front of the slider. Quickly, 2 outs with a runner on first. Chatham still leads 2-0 here in the top of the 6th.
If it's not a strikeout, if it's not a double play, you'll take the strikeout. But
that's right.
Maybe if it were a short, 10-pitch inning and he got through 6 at 70, you run him out there for one more, but probably not anymore, especially his first outing with the team.
First pitch to Bazzana. Misses inside for ball 1.
This is the one guy you really have to be careful of.
That's right. He's a .325 hitter with Falmouth. 5th in the league in batting average. Stands in to the left side of the plate with a runner on first and 2 gone. Pierce is 1-0. Fastball runs low and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. The runner at first base is Nathan Humphreys. He started off this inning with a leadoff single. Gets 3 strides off of first base. Will Hoyt holding him at the bag. Pierce is 2-0. Popped up, out of play. Over the third base dugout. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bazzana. The Oregon State product is 0 for 2 today. A ground out and a fly out on the ledger. He has a black dipped barrel with a natural wood handle over his left shoulder. That barrel pointing down to the dirt. 2-1. Skips low. White fishes for the baseball at his feet. Keeps Humphreys at first, 3-1. Andrew, you look at Bazzana when he puts the bat on his shoulder, the barrel points straight down. Instead of having the bat straight up like a normal, usual swing, Bazzana's barrel is tipped down.
Probably don't throw him a pitch in the strike zone here, even though you're down 3-1.
Pierce collects. Pitch. Off speed. Misses outside for ball 4. Hudson White tried to convince Mike Lum that was strike 2, but he's unsuccessful. Bazzana heads down to first base, and Marty Lees, Chatham's acting manager, hustles out from the third base dugout. No point just yet towards the left field bullpen. Just a quick chat with his starting pitcher, his catcher, and the infield. Gives us a good time to go through the line scores for today's game. So far, through 5 2/3 innings, Falmouth has scored no runs on 2 hits and 1 error. Chatham with 2 runs on 7 hits and no errors. This also gives us a good time to check on some Cape League scores presented by Sweet Tomatoes Pizza. Andrew, what do you got for us?
Joe, we only have 1 road score to check on. That's Brewster at YD. And the Whitecaps 15-8 winners over the Red Sox, courtesy of a 19-hit day for Brewster. So Chatham needs to win this game to make up 2 points today on the Whitecaps. If so, the A's would stand 5 points back with 3 games in hand.
Play resumes. First pitch to Kyle DeBarge. Goes through Hudson White's mitt and trickles to the backstop. Humphreys advances from second to third. Bazzana hustles from first to second base on the pass ball. The pitch was outside for ball 1, but Falmouth has the tying run in scoring position. With 2 outs, Falmouth trailing 2-0. Kyle DeBarge has the chance to bring the Commodores back in this game.
And not only does that move the runners over, you also lose a strike. That was right down the middle, strike 1. Since White missed it, you don't get the call.
Pierce comes set, third base side of the rubber. The right-hander's 1-0. Swing and a miss. goes upstairs with the fastball. Was foul tipped into Hudson White's mitt for strike one. Marty Lee's out of the third base dugout asking his teammates on the bench, asking his players on the bench, should say, to improve the spirits of the players on the field. Pitch. Skips in the dirt. White blocks it. Humphreys was a good 5-6 strides off of third base. Had Hudson White let that ball go to the backstop, we might have seen Falmouth's first run of the game. Instead, White brick walls the baseball. 2 balls and 1 strike on DeBarge, who's 0 for 2 today. A .266 hitter in 23 games for the Commodores. 2-1. Drops low with a zone. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Cade Snell stands on deck for Falmouth. Coming into this game in 63 at-bats, he's hitting .365 with 12 runs batted in. First, Pierce has to take care of DeBarge. 3-1. Right down the middle. That's strike 2. Boy, this would be quite the jam that Carson Pierce could get himself out of. This might be the last out he records in today's game. Chatham fans rallying the starting pitcher, making his debut here at Veterans Field. Payoff pitch. Bounced foul. Many of the Chatham fans didn't hear the pop of the bat. Started to celebrate, but then had to, as the at-bat stayed alive. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes on DeBarge. Right-handed hitter against right-handed pitcher. Pierce comes set, hands at the anglers across his chest. 3-2. Misses outside for ball 4. Consecutive walks from Carson Pierce. And out comes Marty Lees for his second mound visit of the inning, which means that we will have a call to the bullpen. Boy, what a start for Carson Pierce. The first time donning the blue pinstripes. He comes out and throws 5 scoreless innings. Not his final line, because he's responsible for the 3 runners on base, but his teammates are already outside of the dugout, awaiting to congratulate their newest teammate, who saved many arms in the game 2 of the doubleheader. Pierce comes off the field. We'll step aside for just a moment. Bases loaded with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Chatham leads 2-0. A Chatham Bars Inn call to the bullpen after this on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I dig those rhythm and blues. I was a lonely teenage bronc and buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck. But I knew I was out of luck the day the music died. I started singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye and singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Now for 10 years we've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone. But that's not how it used to be. When the jester sang for the
Chatham Bars Inn called to the bullpen. We're back in the top of the 6th inning. The Commodores have the bases loaded, trailing 2-0 to Chatham with 2 outs. Carson Pierce's day is done. The A's call on Gavin Brasowski to get Chatham out of trouble. This is Brasowski's 3rd appearance of the summer. So far, he's pitched just 1/3 of an inning with a strikeout and 2 walks. Working on 4 days of rest, the left-hander from Kansas faces Cade Snell, the left-handed designated hitter from Alabama. Bases juiced, 2 down. Brzoski's first pitch misses low. White blocks the baseball solely with his glove. 1 ball and no strike. The not-so-final line for Carson Pierce reads 5 innings and 2/3, 2 hits, no runs allowed yet, 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. He's responsible for all 3 runners on base. Brzoski's 1-0. In the zone, that's strike 1. Pressure-packed situation here for Brzoski. The Anglers took game 1 today over Wareham. And with Brewster winning today, the Anglers need to make up that difference with 2 wins in 1 day. 1-1. Bounced foul over towards Falmouth's dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Cade Snell. A .365 hitter in 17 games with Falmouth so far this year. Humphreys at third. Bazana at second. DeBarge at first. 2 outs. Falmouth trails 2-0 here in the top of the 6th. Brzoski, left-handed pitcher. Snell, left-handed hitter. The 1-2 pitch. Popped up, left side. Casarilla sprints back. The third baseman hustles, slides, and can't make the grab. The ball lands on the warning track. Xavier Casarilla sprinted back. He was about 4 feet away from the baseball that fell foul. All the base runners have to return to their bags. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. You heard Marty Lees chant out good effort to his infield to try and save Gavin Brzoski on the mound. It's up to the left-hander from KU to do it all over again. Working from the stretch, ball in his left hand. He comes set, hands at the belt, third base side of the rubber. He lifts and fires. Fastball misses way high. Oh boy. Cade Snell limboed out of the way of that heater at 90 miles per hour. Counts even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. For a moment, that'll quickly release some of the pressure that's building here at Veterans Field. But now it's returned. 2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 2 outs. Tying run on second base, go-ahead run at first. Brzoski's 2-2. Bounced foul. Oh, he just made contact with the 87-mile-an-hour fastball. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last time out, Brzoski just faced 1 batter in Hyannis. He struck out that Harbor Hawk. Can he strike out a Commodore in the 3rd of an inning here in the top of the 6th? 2-0 A's. Brzoski, deep breath. He lifts and deals. Misses low. Hudson White blocks it. Count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. White and Snell look out towards center field. A car was just put in park, and the red lights are flashing in the batter's eye. No longer flashing, just on near the batter's eye. Runners on each base. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Brzoski fires. Line drive over Martin Grudgelonic's head and into the outfield. Humphrey scores. Bazana scores. Here comes a 3rd runner to the plate. The throw is late. DeBarge is safe. 1 swing and the Commodores take the lead. 3-2 Falmouth in the top of the 6th. A full count, 2 out, 3 RBI single from Cade Snell gives Falmouth the advantage. Blooped over Martin Grudgelonic's head at second base. He jumped as high as he could. Gavin Brzoski gives up 3 runs on 1 swing over the 6'3" Martin Grudgelonic at second base. And the Commodores lead 3-2 in the 6th. Here's the first pitch to Tyler McGregor. He squares, pulls back, but the pitch was in the zone anyways for strike 1. That 3rd base dugout that was full of energy is now leaning up against that railing, just staring out towards Veterans Field. 0-1 pitch. Misses outside, ball 1. So now we can give you the final line for Carson Pierce. He pitches 5 2/3 innings with 2 hits. All 3 runs go against his ledger. 7 Ks and 2 walks. Brasowski comes set, looks towards first, and goes home. Check swing, but the pitch was in the zone anyways for strike 2. Tyler McGregor is 0 for 2 today with 2 ground outs over to Trace Wilhoit at first base. McGregor, a .305 hitter, coming into today's game with 59 at-bats. 2 bombs, 9 runs batted in. Cade Snell stands at first base, 3 strides off the bat. Stares at Brasowski on the mound with his hands at his belt. Time is called. Pitch clock violation. The pitch clock is still turned off behind home plate. But Jeff Merzel, the third base umpire behind second base, was looking out towards the left center field scoreboard. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes, the pitch. Check swing slider in the dirt. No appeal to Merzel. 3 balls and 2 strikes on McGregor. So expect the RBI man, Cade Snell, to be in motion over there at first base. Lefty on lefty battle between Brasowski and McGregor. Runner on first, 2 gone. Pitch. Misses high, ball 4. Gavin Brasowski loses Tyler McGregor after being up in the count. McGregor stands at first. Cade Snell is over at second base. It's crazy, Andrew, how one swing can change the entire complexion of a game.
Falmouth all of a sudden very much in the driver's seat, especially with Chatham's pitching situation.
First pitch to Luke Heyman. The righty takes a fastball high and away for ball 1. Marty Lees before the game said that position players will most likely throw some innings for Chatham today. Bet he was hoping that Chatham would carry a lead when the position players had to go to the mound. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Late life on the fastball. Heyman swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Luke Heyman 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout. He has runners on first and second with 2 outs. Falmouth has taken the 3-2 lead. Pitch, swing and a miss. 88 miles an hour on the inside part of the plate. 1-2 to Heyman. Chatham was leading 2-0 going into this 6th inning. Carson Pierce gave up a leadoff single, struck out 2 batters, and then walked 2. 1-2 pitch. Skied in the infield. Martin Grudgelonic at second base, his feet close toward the second base bag. He makes the 2-handed catch to end the frame. So after the 2 walks thrown by Pierce, Gavin Brasowski comes into the game, and he gives up a 3 RBI single to Cade Snell. The Falmouth Commodores score 3 runs on 2 hits and leave 2 runners on base. Falmouth takes the lead. It's 3-2 Commodores. Bottom 6 next.
Chatham A's on the air. Well, it was nearly summer. We sat on your roof. Yeah, we smoked cigarettes and we stared at the moon. And I showed you stars you never could see. Bet it couldn't have been that easy to forget about me. Maybe time meant nothing, anything seemed real. Yeah, you could kiss like fire when you made me feel like every word you said was meant to be. Bet it couldn't have been that easy to forget about me. Maybe even the losers get lucky sometimes.
Bottom of the 6th inning on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Falmouth scored 3 runs in the top of the 6th inning to take a 3-2 lead over Chatham. With Andrew Selover, I'm Joe Puccio. We have a Chatham Bars Inn called to the bullpen to start the bottom of the 6th inning. The left-handed Parker Coyle takes the mound for Falmouth. Parker Coyle wears the number 38 for the Falmouth Commodores. Left-handed pitcher from Arkansas. He makes his 7th appearance of the summer. He's thrown a 2.75 ERA in 16 1/3 innings with Falmouth. 15 Ks to 3 walks. Coyle working on 5 days of rest. He faces Schubert, Wolfert, and Casarilla. A lefty and 2 righties to start the bottom of the 6th. The A's trailing 3-2. Nolan Schubert stands up to the plate. First pitch. Fastball at 90, misses high. Appeal down to third, no, says Jeff Merzell for ball 1. In between when Falmouth is coming out onto the field is the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball in the upper part of the zone, 1-1. When Falmouth was coming out onto the field, the umpires and CAA president Steve West are trying to figure out how to fix the pitch clock. 1-1 pitch. Runs a bit inside. 2-1 to the lefty Schubert. There was a foul ball that hit smack dab off the front of the pitch clock that turned it off. 2-1. Fastball catches the outside corner at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Robbie Grenier, groundskeeper here at Veterans Field, walked over, tried to unplug in some cords, replugging them in. Still didn't work. So the 2 are trying to figure out an option. 2-2. Slider dips low. It's 3-2 on Schubert. So as it stands right now, Andrew, we just have to look out to the left center field scoreboard. Only working pitch clock in the Cape League right now. 3-2. Fastball misses low for ball 4. Parker Coyle walks the first batter he faces in today's game. He puts Nolan Schubert on with no outs in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, not the biggest problem for us, Joe. I think the only person that it really impacts is the pitcher, because the pitcher's back is to that scoreboard. That's a large reason why you saw a pitch clock violation from Brasowski in the last half inning. But the catcher can help move them along, give them a sign to hurry it up if that pitch clock does dip down towards 5 seconds.
First pitch to Wolfert. The righty takes it upstairs for ball 1. Parker Coyle, the lefty from Arkansas, steps on the third base side of the rubber. His 1-0 pitch is grounded up the middle. Keelan flips to Bazzana for 1. To first, double play. 1 pitch, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Wolfert rolls one to the shortstop Keelan. Underhand flipped it to Bazzana at second base to retire Schubert. And then Bazzana gunned it over to McGregor to get Wolfert. A 6-4-3 double play creates 2 outs in the 6th. Here's Xavier Casarilla, right-handed hitter from Seminole State College. First pitch. Slow roller to short. Keelan bare hands, guns to first in time. McGregor keeps his foot on the bag, lunging towards the baseball for the final out. After Chatham had it the first hitter of the game come up and walk, just 3 pitches later, the inning's over. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. Top of the 7th up next, it's 3-2 Falmouth.
Chatham A's on the air.
Sun coming up over New York City. School bus driver in a traffic jam. Staring at the faces in a rearview mirror. Looking at the promise of the promised land. One kid dreams of fame and fortune. One kid helps pay the rent. One could end up going to prison. One just might be president.
Let's move to the top of the 7th inning at Veterans Field. The home Chatham Anglers trail the Falmouth Commodores 3-2 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Joe Puccio here with Andrew Selover, high above diamond side, third base line. To start the top of the 7th inning, 7-8-9 in Jeff Trundy's lineup, starting with Gavin Keelan, the shortstop out of Louisville. Gavin Brzoski's first pitch. Fastball that's popped up into shallow center field. Caden Kent, the shortstop, backpedals, and he makes the catch for the first out. Zach McDonald, the center fielder, was just a few steps behind Caden Kent as the shortstop ranged back to his left to make the catch. One pitch, one out in the top of the 7th. That brings up Nathan Humphreys, left-handed left fielder from Dallas Baptist. 1 for 2 night with a single in the 6th inning. Brzoski comes set. First pitch to him. Fastball misses high and tight for ball 1. Today is the first of 2 doubleheaders for Chatham this week. On Friday, the Anglers play at Orleans. 1-0 pitch. Crushed. Deep left field. Donahue hustles back. He's near the track to his right. He makes the catch. 2 outs in the 7th inning. Kyson Donahue hasn't had much run out in left field so far this season, but he made that catch look natural to set away Nathan Humphreys. On Friday, Chatham plays Orleans at Eldridge Park, 2 7-inning contests. The first game is at 3:30 p.m., so join us at 3:10 for the Anglers Extra pregame show. And that rolls right into our Game 2 coverage with first pitch beginning at 6:30. Tomorrow, Chatham's on the road in Cotuit. Just one game, 5 p.m. start. First pitch to Tab Tracy. Just misses below the zone for ball 1. That's a 4:40 Anglers Extra pregame show. Join us right here on TRZ Team Line. Lefty on lefty battle. Here's the 1-0. Tracy looks at ball 2 on the outside corner. 89 miles an hour. Chatham also hosts Orleans in a doubleheader on July 28th. This team is flooring on the gas pedal. 2-0. Fastball right down the middle for strike 1. Chatham flooring the gas pedal, trailing Brewster by 5 points in the East Division. Talking to Brock Riley before today's game, he said that energy is a big concern with this team. 2-1. Hammered out towards left field. Donahue sprints to his right. He makes the catch, gliding towards the left field line for the final out. How about Kyson Donahue? Getting his first start out in left field this season. Makes back-to-back catches to retire the side in the 7th. Brzoski sets down the Commodores 1-2-3 in the 7th. No runs, no hits, and no one left on base. Time to stretch at Veterans Field. Let's send things down to our public address announcer, Peter Burns.
All right, here we go. All right. Caddy. Danny, Ben Mill, Claire, Connor, Landry, Gavin, Ben, Jack, Delia, Rory, Lily, Grace, Catherine, Moira, Tom, Mara, Collins. Are you ready? All right, on 3. 1, a 2, a 3.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Find me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I'll do it. I'll never get back. Root for the Anglers. If they don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes are out at the old ball game.
Let's hear it for Caddy Danny.
What a beautiful rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. 7th inning stretch about to wrap up here at Veterans Field. We hope you did so as well at home. You've been listening to nearly 18 innings of Chatham A's baseball today, so make sure to get yourself a snack, get yourself some water, plop down on the couch, and get ready for this last 2.5 innings here in Chatham. It's 3-2 Falmouth as we start the bottom of the 7th inning. Donahue, White, and Wilhoit, 7, 8, 9 due up in the Anglers' order. Boy, I'll tell you. Andrew, we'll need some water after this.
Some sleep.
First pitch to Donahue. Fastball. Called strike on the upper part of the zone. 0-1. Quick turnaround for the Anglers. The A's played a 3-hour and 40-minute game yesterday. 0-1 pitch. Misses outside. Ball 1. And that game could have been anywhere. Harwich, Orleans, quick drive. No. About an hour and 20 minutes out to Wareham. Chatham won that game 6-3. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Donahue foul tips the fastball back into Heyman's mitt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Left-handed Parker Coyle back on the mound. Came in to relieve for Evan Toole last half inning. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Donahue chases the off-speed pitch low and away. First out here in the 7th. So the A's played 3 hours and 40 minutes yesterday over at Spillane Field. A's turn around, play game 1 of the doubleheader in 2 hours and 58 minutes. Today, playing game 2. First pitch was at 7:01, currently 8:51 on the East Coast. Here's the first pitch to White. The righty pops it foul, goes over the protective netting behind home plate for strike 1. And then tomorrow, the A's have an early game at 5, one of the earlier games that you can play in the Cape League regularly. 5 p.m. start against Katuitt tomorrow. 0-1. Fastball misses high for ball 1. Then the Anglers are home on Thursday against YD. 7 p.m. first pitch. And then a doubleheader in Orleans to round out the week. 1-1. Fastball misses high. 2-1. You have to think, Andrew, that this quick 2-game All-Star break's coming at the right time.
Chatham desperately needs those arms in the bullpen to get some rest, so yes.
2-1 pitch. Fastball. Called strike on the outer half to the right-handed Hudson White. 2 balls and 2 strikes. White is 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a pop out. Coyle from the windup is 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Consecutive punch-out swinging from Parker Coyle's left hand. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Slider was low and away. White was way out in front of the pitch. Here comes the 9-hole hitter, Trace Wilhoit. Nobody on, 2 outs in a Falmouth 3-2 lead. Wilhoit from the right side. First pitch from Coyle. Just misses upstairs for ball 1. Wilhoit is 0 for 2 today with a fly out and a ground out. He awaits the 1-0 pitch. Ground ball to third. 2 hops to DeBarge, backhands, fires it deep from behind third base, and retires Wilhoit for the final out. Tough play by DeBarge behind the third base bag, but he makes it look easy. Commodores retire the Anglers 1-2-3 in the 7th. No runs on no hits, no errors, and no runners were left on base because there were no runners to get on base. As we advance to the top of the 8th inning, Falmouth carries a 3-2 lead into the final 2 innings of the game. Gavin Brasowski walks over the third base foul line and grabs the baseball. He'll be tasked to start things out in the top of the 8th for the A's. 3-2 Doors.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC. I spent 20 years trying to get out of this place. I was looking
Top of the 8th inning here at Veterans Field. It's 3-2 Commodores. And on play-by-play for the final 2 innings of this matchup, Andrew Selover.
Joe, Gavin Brzoski faces the top of the Commodores lineup for the first time tonight. That begins with John Spikerman, who bats from the right side for the first time. Switch hitter was from the left against Carson Pierce. First pitch, up and away, ball 1. 3-2 Falmouth in front of Chatham. I'm Andrew Selover with Joe Puccio. Inning number 17 of 18 tonight at Veterans Field. 1-0 pitch is lifted deep towards right field. Back goes Wolfert. He's shy of the track to grab it for the first out. I guess theoretically we could have 19 innings, Joe, but that would require at least one more run from the A's.
Not out of the equation whatsoever.
Got 10 in last night at Spillane Field, and the Anglers took down the Gatemen 6-3. Chatham went back-to-back against Wareham at 1 p.m. today with a 7-2 victory. Travis Bazzana in, first pitch, up and inside. It tips off the top of the mitt of White all the way to the backstop. And he runs out with a new baseball in front of the mound to talk things over with Brzoski. Gavin Brzoski struggled straight out of the pen. First batter he faced, Cade Snell, whacked a 3 RBI single to give Falmouth the lead. Then he walked McGregor. Since then, he's retired 5 straight. Set at the chest, 1-0. Way high, 2-0. Three runs on just 3 hits and 1 error for the Commodores. 2 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the Anglers. 2-0 pitch, lifted down the left field line, well foul, over near the parking lot. 2-1 the count. 1 in both the 4th and the 5th for the A's. All 3 in the 6th for the Commodores. Top of the 8th, no on, 1 out. The 2-1 pitch nearly plunks the helmet of Bazzana, who spiraled to the dirt to get out of the way. Couple of pitches that have not been close to the zone in this AB from Brzoski. He's behind 3-1 to Bazzana. Second baseman likely sitting dead red on a fastball here. Pitch. At the top of the zone, strike 2 called. Bazzana bent at the knees, thought it was ball 4. Instead, he's right back in for a left-on-left 3-2 count. Brzoski set. He kicks. He offers. Lifted out of play over our heads. Still 3-2. Marty Lee's sitting in a black folding chair, just 2 steps out of the third base dugout. Looking at his clipboard, and now out towards his reliever, Gavin Brzoski. Another 3-2. Hammered foul down the first base line. Bazzana broke his bat, evidently, although it didn't quite sound like it. It sounded like he crushed it. Way out in front of 87.
And instead of just politely walking over to Falmouth's dugout, he just throws it over to the bat boys.
Hustles back into the left side with a new piece of wood. A long battle here from Gavin Brzoski. Next pitch will be his 35th in his 2nd full inning of work. Another 3-2. High, ball 4. Travis Bazzana earns a walk with 1 out in the 8th.
The third baseman, number 6, Kyle DeBarge.
That brings up Kyle DeBarge. 0 for 2 today for the Louisiana Lafayette third baseman. Grounded to 2nd in the 1st, grounded to 3rd in the 4th, walked and scored 1 of the 3 runs for Falmouth in the 6th. First pitch, upstairs, ball 1. Travis Bazzana was jumping back and forth. 3 steps off of first base to try and draw the attention of Brasowski. 1-0. Hammered towards center field, falling quickly in front of McDonald. Stop sign at second for Bazana. There's 2 on with 1 out in the 8th for Falmouth.
Marty Lees hasn't been afraid to pull the pitcher in the middle of the inning. We'll have to keep an eye on that left field bullpen and see if there's any motion.
Currently nobody up. Not sure if he has anybody else left. This might be the last scheduled pitcher for the day for the A's. After Brasowski, you might have to go to the position players. Brasowski pitching to Cade Snell. First offering. Outside corner, strike 1. Snell already did all of the damage for the Commodores tonight. First batter to greet Gavin Brasowski, and in a long, grueling AB, he smoked a 3 RBI bases clearing single. 0-1, bounce to the right side, could be 2. Over to second for 1, on to first, well late. They're at the corners. Kyle DeBarge, the force out on a 4-6 putout. Martin Grudzelanek to Caden Kent, who threw it to first. It was a good 2 steps late to beat Cade Snell. Will Hoyt gloved it to prevent Bazana from advancing past third base. Now it's Tyler McGregor with 2 outs and a big insurance run over at third base. Joe, we've got a current pause because there's a couple kids that were straddling the center field fence to get their best look. They got to head back up the hill so they can see.
I haven't seen anything like that.
Got kids on some other kids' back trying to get a good view. They look on. First pitch. Belted past the glove of Martin Grudzelanek at second. Base hit, scores 1. On to third, Snell, and he stays there. Tyler McGregor ropes a base hit to open up a 4-2 lead for Falmouth in the 8th. Snell stands at third base. Tyler McGregor over at first for Luke Heyman, trying to continue the train here in the 8th. 6th man to the plate. 4-2, Falmouth in front of Chatham with 2 outs in the top half of the inning. Brasowski kicks and deals in the dirt. Chest stop by White. Both runners stay put. Four runs on now 5 hits and 1 error for Falmouth. 2 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the Anglers. Defense shaded slightly to pull for the righty. 1-0, way high, not close. 2-0 the count. 42 pitches for Gavin Brasowski, and Joe, it feels as if he's running out of steam.
Well, it seems like Chatham's bullpen is running out of arms. Brasowski might be the only one left at this point.
2-0. Misses upstairs. 3-0 the count. In danger of walking the bases full for Gavin Keelan, who waits on deck. Brasowski retoes the left side of the rubber. Set at the waist. He deals. Misses outside, ball 4. Bases loaded with Commodores in the 8th. On a 4-pitch walk to Luke Heyman. The 3rd walk of the night for Brasowski. Nobody left in the pen for Chatham on a game 2 of 18 innings of baseball for the A's today. If Brasowski can't get out of this inning, it will become a player's responsibility in the field. First pitch, poked foul at the plate by Keelan. We were told ahead of the doubleheader today that Chris Maldonado, Caden Kent, Xavier Casarilla, all 3 are available to pitch if needed. Kent stands at at short and Casarilla at third. Maldonado has not appeared in the contest yet. Chatham used just 4 pitchers, really just 3, because Molsky only tossed a third of an inning on 1 pitch earlier today. 0-1. High and away, 1-1. The fans in center field have retreated to the top of the hill to get a better view. Watching on, a battle between Brasowski and Gavin Keelan. 1-1 pitch. Check swing, pounds the outside black. 1-2. Cade Snell stands at third, Tyler McGregor at second. Luke Heyman leads off of first. 4-2 Falmouth with 2 outs in the 8th. Brasowski up 1-2. Agrees on a sign. Set and an offering. Well outside. Diving stop by White. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuces are wild at Veterans Field. A's trying to limit the damage and stay within striking distance with 6 outs to work with. Brasowski pitches. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A long, grueling inning for the Kansas Jayhawk results in just 1 run for the Falmouth Commodores. Jeff Trundy's group had a chance to blow this wide open. Instead, they go for 1 run on 2 hits, no Chatham errors, and 3 men left on base. We head to the bottom half of the 8th. Chatham sends the top of the lineup to the plate, down by 2 here at Veterans Field.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
Parker Coyle is through 2 innings, facing the minimum, but now the lefty out of the bullpen for Falmouth faces the top of the Chatham lineup. Bottom of the 8th, 4-2, Commodores leading the A's. I'm Andrew Selover with Joe Puccio. Caden Kent digs in, left on left, first pitch. Fisted back foul. 0-1. 20 pitches through 2 innings for Parker Coyle in relief of Evan O'Toole, who's in line for the win. 0-1, misses high, 1-1. Anglers have out-hit the Commodores 7-5, but trail where it matters 4-2. 1-1. Inside, 2-1 the count. Kent, Martin Grudzelanek, and McDonald due up for Chatham, followed by Nolan Schubert if necessary. 2-1, laced through the left side. Kent goes the opposite way for a leadoff single. A 3-for-4 night for Caden Kent in the leadoff spot. And he does what he needs to do to lead off the bottom of the 8th.
Many of Chatham's prominent hitters are due up in the 8th inning. If you look towards Donahue, White, Wilhoit in the bottom of the order, that's when you could see guys like Derek Fabian, J.J. Weatherholt come in for pinch hit situations.
And that brings up a mound visit for Falmouth. And actually a call to the bullpen immediately. Parker Coyle faces one man, a left-on-left matchup, and now with two righties due up next for Chatham, that means that the Commodores go to the bullpen to bring on a righty reliever. A second Chatham Bars Inn call to the bullpen of the night for Falmouth comes with no outs and a runner on first in the bottom of the 8th. Commodores up by 2 when we return here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Chatham on TRZ, Cape Cod.
Jeff Trundy and the Falmouth Commodores go for the right-on-right matchup out of the bullpen, relieving the lefty Parker Coyle of his duties. Coyle, freshman from Arkansas, lasts 2+ innings, gives up 1 hit on his last batter faced, 1 walk and 2 Ks. He's responsible for Caden Kent, who stands at first with nobody out in the 8th. The righty reliever is Cade Woods, a junior from Alabama. So far with Falmouth, 4 appearances, all out of the bullpen. A 1-1 record and a 6.75 earned run average across 6 2/3 innings. He will face 2 righties to begin, Martin Grudzelanek and McDonald, followed by a lefty in Schubert. Set at the waist, a quick pickoff throw, not in time. It was well high and drew McGregor off the bat. Woods comes set at the waist. The first pitch from the righty. Over the heart with a fastball for strike 1. Hums it in there at 94 miles per hour. Bryce Martin Grudzelanek is 1 for 3 today. Pickoff throw again, not in time. A snappy throw from the righty. He's just had it miss high, so not an easy tag for McGregor to apply. 4-step lead for Kent, 1-0. Upstairs, 1-1. Martin Grudzelanek doubled back in the 5th to bring home a run. The 1-1 pitch. Outside, pump fake from Heyman down to first. He did not throw. It's 2-1 the count. So 2 groundouts and an RBI double in Game 2 for Bryce Martin Grudzelanek to go with a ground rule 2 RBI double, pinch hitting in Game 1. Another pickoff throw to first, And again, Kent back standing. Kent represents a third run, not the tying run. 4-2 Falmouth in the 8th. 2-1. Swing and a miss. A challenge fastball at 93 over the middle of the plate, and Martin Grudzelanek couldn't square it up.
Caden Kent just 1 for 4 stealing bases this summer.
Only reason he might steal is to try and eliminate the double play threat, and another throw over there. Again, it misses high, and McGregor had to leap to bring it down. Woods now stares at home plate. The 2-2. Bouncer right back up the middle. On the bag for 1. Bazana to first. Double play. A 4-3 twin killer. And there's 2 down with nobody on in the 8th.
Now batting for the Anglers, the center fielder from Miami University, Ohio, number 8, Zach McDonald.
Zach McDonald steps into the right-hand batter's box to face off against Woods. He can now finalize the line for Parker Coyle, who does not allow a run tonight. First pitch. Breaking ball missed low. 1-0 the count. Cade Woods with Alabama this year, a 5.52 ERA in 17 appearances, 30 innings pitched. 1-0. Cut and a miss. 1-1. Last time out, the righty tossed against Bourne 5 days ago, 1 inning scoreless. Faced the minimum. 1-1. At the top of the zone, a late strike call. 1-2. Chatham down to its final strike in the 8th. The pitch. Cut and a miss. Strike 3. Zach McDonald mowed down on strikes. Cade Woods faces the minimum in the bottom of the 8th, and the A's are down to their final 3 outs. 4-2 Falmouth in front of Chatham as we head to the 9th. Xavier Casarilla will take the mound to pitch for the A's to try and keep it to just a 2-run game when we return to Veterans Field.
Chatham on TRC, Cape Cod.
I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love comes tumbling down. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour when there's no one else around. I'm gonna take you, girl, and hold you and do all the things I told you in the midnight hour. Yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. One more thing I just want to say right here. I'm gonna wait till the stars come out and see that twinkle in your eyes. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. That's when my love begins to shine. You're the only girl I know that really love me so in the midnight hour. Oh yeah, in the midnight hour. Yeah.
Xavier Casarilla, this is your moment. Chatham's third baseman to start the game has taken the mound and lost his cap on his final practice pitch. He faces 8, 9, and 1 in the Falmouth lineup, with Chatham trailing 4-2 in the top of the 9th. Ordinarily, you would not see a position player pitching in a 2-run game in the 9th. But this is inning 18 of the day for the Anglers. Casarilla versus Nathan Humphreys. Right on left. First offering. Misses low. 87 on the gun. 1-0 the count. Humphreys is 1 for 3 today. Singled in the 6th. The 1-0. Over the heart, strike 1. A growl from Mike Lum to indicate The count moves to 1-1. Casarilla works out of the windup. In his pinstripe uniform, he turns and fires. Outside with a slider, 2-1 the count.
Most D1 college baseball players pitched in high school, so this is second nature for most of these guys.
The 2-1 pitch is hammered towards deep center field. Back goes McDonald. That one sails way out of here. Xavier Casarilla stands on the mound with a smile. He gives up a moonshot home run to Nathan Humphreys. It's 5-2 Falmouth in the top of the ninth. A loud first run to start the ninth inning against Xavier Casarilla. First pitch to Tab Tracy. Right down the middle, strike one. And the dugout goes crazy. He allowed a run, Joe, but maybe this fires up the Anglers for the bottom of the ninth.
Well, Casarilla has a smile out there on the mound. How many Chatham pitchers have had a smile after giving up a home run?
0-1 pitch. Bounced foul. Took a little off it at 83, 0-2. The whole bullpen has come down the line to cheer on Xavier Casarilla. Chatham has lost the DH spot. That was Nolan Schubert. Derek Fabian entered Casarilla's defensive role. A big windup, the 0-2. Missed outside, 1-2. He went with the big windup, put his hands all the way out towards third base, and a huge leg kick. But he couldn't fool Tracy. Back to the original, 1-2. Low and away, 2-2.
Maybe he should try the Nestor Cortez where he puts his front leg up in the air for an extended period of time.
So Fabian's at short, Kent moves over to third, and Casarilla on the mound. 2-2 pitch. Roped down the right field line, but foul. It clambers towards the bullpen, where a righty warms up for the Falmouth Commodores. Still 2-2 to Tab Tracy. So the way the batting order will work is Fabian takes the DH spot of Schubert in at short. Chatham loses its DH, and Casarilla stays in the 6-hole. 2-2 pitch. Tipped out of the mitt of White. Nearly a strikeout for Casarilla. 10 pitches in for Xavier Casarilla, searching for a first out in the top of the ninth, with Chatham down 5-2 in game 2 of a doubleheader. Another 2-2. Again fooled him, but again Tracy bounces it foul. He went with the slider at 7G3, and Tracy was way out in front, but caught a piece.
Look at Tracy. He's smiling over towards Chatham's dugout. He almost got fooled on that slider.
Last thing you want to do is strike out to a position player. 2-2. Fisted over to third base. Kent lays out and grabs it out of the air for the first out. Not a strikeout, but Casarilla retires Tab Tracy. There's one down in the ninth. Trackman, by the way, a 425-foot bomb off the bat of Nathan Humphreys, 101. The exit speed. Not sure Casarilla's too worried about that right now. He faces the top of the lineup. John Spikerman from the left side. First pitch. Slider low. Ball one. Falmouth leads 5-2, top of the ninth. For Chatham to up in the bottom half, it'll now be Derek Fabian in place of Nolan Schubert, then Tyler Wolfert and Xavier Casarilla. The 1-0 is on the outside corner, strike one. The question is, what will the Commodore lead be? Currently sits at 3 with no on and 1 down. Casarilla turns and deals. Just missed high, 2-1. Couple pinch hit options as well for Marty Lees, should he choose so in the ninth. The 2-1 from Casarilla misses low, 3-1. J.J. Weatherholt still available as a pinch hitter. Derek Fabian now in the game. He probably would have been a pinch hit choice, but he'll lead off the bottom of the ninth. 3-2, misses low, ball 4.
Almost works like a pinch hit.
First walk from Casarilla brings up Travis Bazzana, who's 0 for 2 with 2 runs scored on 2 walks. Aiden Miola available if Marty Lees elects. First pitch, outside, ball 1. Casarilla receiving probably more coaching advice than he would like on the mound right now from his dugout. Set and a deal. Just missed outside, 2-0.
Mike Lum is unforgiving. If you're a position player, you need to throw a strike.
2-0. High, ball 3. Casarilla moves his arm over the top to loosen it up and sets at the back hip. Runner at first, the 3-0. At the knees, strike 1. Needs 2 more. Bazzana waits. The 3-1, runner goes. Bounced foul at the plate. Spikerman will have to walk back towards first. And now it's a 3-2 count to Travis Bazzana. Just needs a ground ball to get out of the inning. Defense, double play depth up the middle. The full count pitch. Bounced right back up the middle. Fabian on the bag for 1, over the first. Double play. 2 hands in the air for Xavier Casarilla. He rolls the 6-3 twin killer and walks back to the dugout with about 20 high fives from his teammates. The world has forgotten about the leadoff home run from Nathan Humphreys, but that's okay. Chatham rallies around the position player on the bump, says, get him a win. And that's what 4, 5, and 6 in the order will try to do when we return in the bottom of the ninth. A leadoff solo 425-foot home run from Nathan Humphreys opened up a 5-2 advantage for Falmouth headed to the bottom of the ninth. Fabian, Wolfert, and Casarilla due up against a new reliever into the game when we return for Falmouth. Joey Ryan takes the bump against the A's to try and close it out for Falmouth. Stay with us.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's! Chatham on GRC.
Bottom of the ninth, and 3 outs to work with for Chatham to try and salvage a doubleheader sweep of Wareham and Falmouth. To do so, the A's need at least 3 runs and it begins with Derek Fabian in the 4-hole. A Chatham Bars Inn call to the bullpen ends the outing for Cade Woods, who goes 1 inning pitched in relief of Parker Coyle, a scoreless 8th. 1 strikeout, no hits. First pitch to Fabian. On the outside corner, strike 1 from Joey Ryan. Junior out of Boston College in his 8th appearance with Falmouth. 0-1. Breaking ball. Finds the outside corner. 0-2. Fabian came in as a defensive replacement for the D.H. Schubert after Casarillo went in to pitch the top of the 9th. The 0-2. Missed high. 1-2. Fabian started in the 9-hole in game 1 today. The 1-2 to him. Laced foul. An 0 for 3 first game for Fabian. 2 strikeouts, a flyout, but also an RBI walk to tie the game in the 8th. He came around to score as well. 1-2 home. Swing and a miss. Joey Ryan fools him with the breaking ball. There's 1 down in the bottom of the 9th for Chatham.
Chatham?
Long day, Joe.
I know. We'll get some sleep soon, my friend.
Inning 18 of 18 on the evening, although Chatham would love to play a 19th, I think, at the rate we're going, and send Casarillo back out there. First pitch to Wolfert. Misses outside, ball 1. So far, Joey Ryan in 9 innings has yet to allow a run. A perfect 0 ERA. Chatham needs 3. The 1-0. Upstairs, ball 2. Xavier Casarillo waits on deck. He can try and help himself. 2-0 pitch. Cut on and missed. 2-1. Tyler Wolfert is 1 for 3 today. Only hit came in the 4th with a single. 5-2 Falmouth in the 9th. 1 out. 2-1 pitch. Popped out of play behind home plate. 2-2 the count. Commodores trying to get back to 500, entering today at 14, 15, and 2. 30 points. 3 back of Bourne for 3rd in the West. 6 ahead of Wareham in 5th. Wareham already fell to Chatham earlier today at this field. 7-2. So the Commodores can bump up to 8 points clear with a win. 2-2 home. Way high over the head of Wolfert. The count run full. Last appearance for Joey Ryan came against Chatham, an inning in a 10-6 win at home. Faced 4 batters, gave up 1 hit, no runs. The 3-2. Cut on and missed, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Joey Ryan, and the Anglers are down to their final out. Xavier Casarillo steps to the plate, working on a 1 for 3 day, representing the final opportunity for Chatham. Last hope. First pitch. Right down the middle, strike 1. Kyson Donahue waits on deck, followed by Hudson White, who would represent the tying run if Chatham can get there. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball on the inside corner, 0-2. Joey Ryan 1 strike away from handing a victory to the first base dugout housing Falmouth. The 0-2 pitch. Cut on and missed, strike 3. Joey Ryan strikes out the side in the bottom of the 9th, and Falmouth knocks off Chatham 5-2 in Game 2 of a 2-team doubleheader at Veterans Field. The Anglers knocked off Wareham 7-2 earlier this afternoon, but fall 5-2 at the hands of the Commodores this evening. Chatham has its 2-game win streak snapped. The A's go to 9-19-1. 5 runs on 6 hits, 1 error for the victorious Commodores. 2 runs on 8 hits, no errors for the hosts and the losing Anglers. This game over in 2 hours and 31 minutes. The Anglers Extra Postgame Show is next. Highlights, a postgame interview, and more. Stick around as we close out coverage from Veterans Field.
Sports Radio, play-by-play. Go A's, Chatham on GRC.
When the lights go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay, ooh, I wanna be there in my city. Oh, oh, oh. So you think you're lonely? Well, my friend, I'm lonely too. I wanna get back to my city by the bay. It's sad. There's been mornings out on the road without you, without your charms. Oh, na 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 na. When the lights go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay, ooh, I wanna be there in my city. Oh, oh, when the lights go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay, ooh, I wanna be there in my city. Oh,
Anglers Extra.
We're back here on the Anglers Extra Postgame Show. Andrew Selover with you up in the booth. And let's waste no time and get to our postgame highlights presented by the Chatham Athletic Association. Both pitchers tonight, Evan O'Toole for Falmouth and Carson Pierce for Oklahoma, were off to a solid start. For Pierce, he faced the minimum through the first three, and O'Toole faced one over that. So both pitchers dealing through the first 3 innings, and Chatham got the first hint of offense with 2 outs in the 4th inning. After Nolan Schubert singled, he was moved over to second base on a pass ball, and that's when Tyler Wolfert came to the plate to try and give Chatham the lead.
First pitch to Martin Grudgelonic is hammered deep left center field. 3-1. Chopper down the third base line. O'Toole backhands, fires to first, and it's wayward. Way over McGregor's head. Schubert scores from third. Chatham scores the first run of the game. O'Toole overthrows McGregor at first base, fielding the baseball off the pitcher's mound.
So that's how Chatham got its first run of the day, and we'll get back to our post-game highlights. But for now, we send it down to Joe Puccio on the sideline for our post-game interview.
Andrew, I'm down on the field with Carson Pierce, Chatham's starting pitcher today, who made his debut with the A's in Chatham's loss in Game 2 to Falmouth. Carson, what was working out there for you today?
Honestly, just my fastball. We called that quite a bit, and changeup. And them having just like 6 or 7 lefties, it really played well with my arm slot and just everything running away from them.
What are your first impressions of Chatham?
It's an awesome town, great energy here. I'm loving it so far.
How beautiful is Veterans Field to pitch here?
Oh, it's great. I heard it's one of the better fields here, huh?
Yeah, you see your teammates came out to support you after you came off the mound. What's it like being around this group of guys?
Oh, they're just a fun group of people. They're always supporting each other, just trying to have a great time. It's really fun.
You came from the Amsterdam Mohawks of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League up in upstate New York. What was that experience like?
It was fun, kind of same atmosphere a little bit here, but there's definitely better competition, I'll have to say, here, which is nice to be around, kind of get me better.
I know some of the guys that are on this Chatham team are also coming from Amsterdam. What's it like sharing this experience with them?
It's just nice to have people I know here. It's easier to, I don't know the word, but kind of get comfortable with everyone else, just having them be there. It's been nice.
What are you looking forward to outside of baseball to do here in Chatham?
I'm not really sure. I don't know much about here, but I like the golf. I heard there's some good golf courses here. I'd like to try out some.
Seaside Links over by the beach over there. That's a good spot. Are you a beach guy?
A little pale, but I mean, I like going to the beach. I like experiencing new things.
Well, we got some sun chairs for you that you can use.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks for the time, Carson.
Thank you.
That's Carson Pierce on the Anglers Extra Postgame Show. Andrew, let's send it back up to you.
All right, Joe, we're just finishing up our post-game highlights here in the broadcast booth. A great first outing for Carson Pierce, who went 5 2/3 innings, gave up just 2 hits. He gets charged with a brutal loss on 3 earned runs that come across after he exited the game, and we'll get to those runs on the post-game highlights. 7 Ks through 5 2/3 to just 2 walks for Pierce in his first outing in an Anglers uniform. We continue with the post-game highlights. We got you the first run of the night for Chatham when the A's took a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th. But in the 5th, Chatham was back for more after 5 scoreless innings from Pierce. Chatham headed to the plate, up 1-0. The first 2 again retired in the inning, and it was more 2-out magic. A single from Caden Kent brought up Bryce Martin Grudzelanek in the 2-hole.
First pitch to Martin Grudzelanek is hammered. Deep left center field. Spikerman hustles back. He looks up. He can't make the catch. Caden Kent gets the wave around third. He's about to lose his helmet. He chugs in home. The throw comes in, and the catcher drops the ball. Kent is safe. Caden Kent scores from first base on an RBI double from Martin Grudzelanek. 2-0 Anglers in the bottom of the 5th.
So Bryce Martin Grudzelanek doubled the lead for Chatham there in the bottom of the 5th. And heading to the top of the 6th, that's when Carson Pierce's day would end. Pierce surrendered a leadoff single to Humphreys after striking out Tracy and Spikerman. He walked the next 2 batters he saw and was lifted from the game. 2-0 the lead for Chatham with 2 outs and the bases loaded for Cade Snell. And for Gavin Brasowski, in a 3-2 count, a long battle with Snell. Here's how the final pitch of the at-bat went.
Runners on each base. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Brasowski fires. Line drive over Martin Grudzilanek's head and into the outfield. Humphrey scores. Bazzana scores. Here comes a 3rd runner to the plate. The throw is late. DeBarge is safe. 1 swing and the Commodores take the lead.
So just like that, all of the hard work on the mound from Pierce and Chatham's efforts over the 4th and the 5th to take the lead 2-0 were erased. It was 3-2 in favor of Falmouth through the 6th inning here at Veterans Field. We skip ahead to the top of the 8th for the Commodores. Falmouth had a runner on thanks to a walk with 1 out of Travis Bazzana. Then a single from Kyle DeBarge and a fielder's choice moved those runners over to the corners. And with 2 outs and a runner at 1st and 3rd, Tyler McGregor came to the plate, still facing off against Gavin Brasowski. First pitch, belted, past the glove of Martin Grudzelanek at second. Base hit, scores one. On to third, Snell, and he stays there. Tyler McGregor ropes a base hit to open up a 4-2 lead for Falmouth in the eighth. Gavin Brasowski would leave those runners on the base paths in the eighth inning, so that sent it to the bottom of the eighth, a 4-2 lead for Falmouth, and Chatham could not tack on. Head to the top of the ninth. Chatham was just out of pitchers in the 18th inning of the day. Xavier Casarilla, a position player, moved from third base to the pitcher's mound, and the first man he saw, Nathan Humphreys. The 2-1 pitch is hammered towards deep center field. Back goes McDonald. That one sails way out of here. Xavier Casarilla stands on the mound with a smile. He gives up a moonshot home run to Nathan Humphreys. It's 5-2 Falmouth in the top of the ninth. So Xavier Casarilla would end up completing that half inning, and in style as well. He retired Tab Tracy with a pop-up, and after a walk of John Spikerman, Casarilla rolled a 6-3 double play to get out of the inning. So headed to the bottom of the ninth, Chatham trailed 5-2. Joey Ryan, the only man with a 0.00 ERA on Falmouth's pitching staff, came in search of the save. After a strikeout of Derek Fabian and Tyler Wolfert, he got Xavier Casarilla, the pitcher and third baseman for Chatham, to an 0-2 count, searching for a strikeout to end the contest. The 0-2 pitch. Cut on and miss, strike three. Joey Ryan strikes out the side in the bottom of the ninth, and Falmouth knocks off Chatham 5-2 in Game 2 of a two-team doubleheader at Veterans Field. So the Commodores got the better of the A's in come-from-behind fashion. Andrew Selover back with Joe Puccio here in the broadcast booth. Your final box totals tonight: 5 runs on 6 hits, 1 error, and 6 men left on base for Falmouth. 2 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and 4 men left on base for Chatham. The Anglers fall to 9-19-1 and drop back to 7 points back of Brewster for 4th place in the East. Meanwhile, the Commodores go to 15-15-2, gain their 32nd point, and move 8 points clear of Wareham for 4th place in the West. The winning pitcher tonight, Evan O'Toole, goes 5 innings of 2-run baseball, gives up 7 hits, strikes out 2. Carson Pierce gets the loss despite 5 2/3 innings of 2-hit baseball with 7 Ks. All 3 runs come across after he exited the game. Joey Ryan picks up a 3-out save with 3 strikeouts in the ninth. Start time tonight was 7:02 in Game 2 of the doubleheader. The finish, 9:34 for 2 hours and 32 minutes of game time. So, Joe, Chatham splits the pair here today. Can't pick up any ground on the Whitecaps, who win at YD. And the Anglers suffer a tough defeat in Game 2 after holding a lead.
Well, today there needed 3 legs to happen for Chatham to get as close as it could possibly be to Brewster. The first was winning Game 1. The second was that Brewster would lose to YD. And the third was that Chatham would beat Falmouth. But only one of those legs gets completed. So as you mentioned, Chatham back to trailing Brewster by 7 points. And tomorrow is a tough one. On the road at Lowell Park, the Cotuit Kettleers, the best team in the Cape Cod Baseball League in terms of point total. Cotuit at 22-9 with 44 points. It'll be tough to win on the road tomorrow.
Cotuit 4 more wins than any other team in the Cape League. And tonight, it felt like Chatham might pull off the sweep, except the Anglers, there for a second, ran out of pitching at the end of the day. Just too many innings for too few of arms.
Got to give credit to Xavier Casarilla, though, coming in the top of the ninth and only allowing 1 run. It was a moonshot, but as you eloquently put it, many people forgot about that home run because of how electric it was for him to come out of the game. But 3-run loss for Chatham today against Falmouth, coming after the win in Game 1 against Wareham.
And Chatham, as you said, Joe, back on the road tomorrow. We'll see how the Arms can bounce back against the Cotuit Kettleers. First pitch between Cotuit and Chatham at Lowell Park, slated for 5 p.m. That means you can join us at 4:40 for the Anglers Extra pregame show here on TRZ Team 1. On behalf of Joe Puccio, our producer Jake Klein, I'm Andrew Selover saying good night. Chatham splits the doubleheader here at Veterans Field.
Chatham Anglers Baseball 2023 has been brought to you by the Chatham Squire, Sweet Tomatoes Pizza, the Red Nun Bar and Grill, Short and Sweet Ice Cream, Cape Cod 5, Audio Associates, the Chatham Bars Inn, and by the Chatham Athletic Association.
Chatham-based baseball, sports radio, play-by-play, summertime on Cape Cod.
This has been an exclusive presentation of Chatham A's Baseball on TRZ Team Line.
Chatham on TRZ.